Hello.
Hello. Hello there.
Hello.
Welcome.
We got something a little bit different lined up for this time around.
Yes, we do. This is
Double feature.
Yeah, this is a double feature where, Mush is going to be streaming the, Mush is streaming the book, the feed of the book.
E-book.
The ebook, rather, yeah. It's a better way of putting it. And I am going to be continuing to play the game. I'm going to be doing the post-game stages, the, the Act 3 stages. I could
And of course, going back to the other first two acts at each level to 100% them as well.
Don't fucking tempt me.
Alright, I will have to ask...
has been put through enough.
I will have to ask that you guys keep a particularly close eye on the chat for, well, lots of any things about volume and adjustment and
Yeah.
just balancing and stuff. And if you want to
Balancing?
see, you shut the fuck up. And if you
Get out!
and if
Okay,
you
fine.
want at any point to look at both my feed and Mush's feed simultaneously, as opposed to just listening, if you type !Mush like that without the space, where is the chat? Why is chat not showing up on stream? Oh, that's because... Oh, hold on. Late? Yeah, there we go. Okay. It's trained to not show something that has exclamation point at the beginning. So I was scared for a second when it didn't. But for now, it's time for the nightmare to continue. So, Mush, start reading, I guess.
Okay. So, Balan Wonderworld, Maestro of Mystery, Theater of Wonders.
It sure is the theater of something.
It's a theater of crack cocaine.
The Balan Theater appears out of nowhere. And at the beginning of the book, it has some bios for all the characters, and I only took a quick glance at it, but it's made some weird decisions.
It's already given us more information on individual characters than the stages did, so there's
Okay,
that.
but also, from what I can tell, the book itself refers to the characters by their names, Emma and Leo.
Yes.
The bios at the beginning call them Street Beat and Fighter.
I see.
Yeah, she looks like a fighter. I think she'd throw down.
She'd probably fist fight.
I'm just going to start off by reading all of these first off.
Please do.
Street Beat, the star of our show. Too cool to join any dance troupes, he rehearses his moves in the solitude of his stage, made in the likeness of a beautiful city center.
Way past cool.
Way past cool.
Too cool for dance troupe.
The girl called Fighter. The mysterious girl who appears to Street Beat and the other residents of Wonderworld in their visions,
Street Beat.
upsetting the peaceful lives they'd all lived on their stages until now. That's a little bit more ominous.
This
than
is
I thought.
incredibly vague.
The grinning man in the top hat.
Oh, that's just awful.
An
I mean, it's an apt
unsettling man
description.
who appears along with Fighter to the residents of Wonderworld in their visions. With his top hat drawn well below his eyes and a mouth warped in a constant grin, it's no wonder everyone feels a little creeped out by him.
Yeah, I'm also creeped
God,
out.
they're just biting into it, guys.
And Lance.
Lance doesn't get a fun name.
No title for you, just Lance.
Despite the fact that he's
Introducing
the
him-
main antagonist of the game and should probably be given the most, intimidating name possible.
Well, they never actually mentioned his name and became proper. They gotta do it here.
Introducing himself as the Maestro of Wonderworld, this mild-mannered man strikes a handsome figure in his white outfit and cape. He warmly watches over all of Wonderworld's residents, Street Beat included.
Oh no, they broke the mirror. It's the plot of Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Wow, this is like the beginning of the first area, just all warped and different. That's actually kind of neat.
Yeah, I just glanced over for a second, and I thought if this was the first area.
It is.
Again, I thought you went to the wrong place or something.
It's like
The lighting's a little different
evil,
though.
There's also goop lying around.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
Also, I did not know you could collect those gems by punching them.
I didn't either. I forgot I couldn't jump. Why in the world did I think anything would be different? Why was I excited for that?
Because you are foolish.
Correct.
Clock Tower Kid. The first person Street Beat meets in Wonderworld. Her spacious stage, centered around a beautiful clock tower plaza, is bursting with adorable things, big and small. She's the one who told Street Beat about all the other residents of Wonderworld.
So is this an original character, or is this someone that we know?
These are all characters from the game. This is the little pink dress,
The girl
green
who
hair
watched
girl.
the cat
Oh,
get
the cat girl. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, cat girl.
Pensive Pierrot, a young clown who staged a giant amusement park. Families and couples crowd the sidewalks, enjoying the attractions to the tune of festive parade music. As soon as they meet, he treated Street Beat to a ride on the Ferris wheel. I can't get over that they keep calling him Street
Stop!
Beat.
Just anytime that you read the word Street Beat, just say Leo.
No, I refuse.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. If that's how
We're
the
not
game,
complimenting
that's how the
them,
novel's
so-
going to refer to them, then that's how we got it.
Farmer Ted.
No, Scarecrow. His name is not Ted. It's not whatever the hell it was supposed to be.
It's
His
Farmer
name is
Ted in my
Scarecrow.
heart.
His name is Jose Gallard, I think.
His name is Scarecrow.
It's
A
Scarecrow
farmer
now.
A farmer who spends his days looking out over his vast cornfields, which stretch as far as the eye can see. A gracious host, he brought out refreshments, including ginger ale and coffee, when Street Beat and the others visited his stage.
I see.
I don't remember him doing that in the game.
He just kind of loomed.
They don't interact. Nobody interacts with
Why did I think
anybody
of that?
aside from a single dance number in the game.
There's a second dance number.
Okay, that's fair. Almost forgot about that one.
Yeah, the one at the very
Bugsy.
end.
Her stage is a forest where myriad bugs as big as puppies live together in harmony. Though shy, she gave a warm welcome to Street Beat and the others when they visited.
Fucking Street Beat, Jesus.
Great beat.
Farmer Ted does strike me as a ginger ale man.
Watcher of the Woods. A woman who protects the deep, sun-dappled woods that cover her stage. She invited Street Beat and the others to chat in one of the many cozy tree houses built into the brand.
I'm assuming that's the bird lady.
Yep. Sentinel of the City. A brawny man who patrols the Sunset City of his stage to make sure everyone is safe.
That's
From
probably
every
that's the
house
fireman.
fills warm light, and through the windows, happy families can be seen sitting down to their supper. All while everything is fucking on fire in this image.
It's
Safe.
fine.
Safety and priorities.
Sky Gazer. A bespectacled high school boy who lounges in the grass, staring up at the sky above. The hills of his stage are covered in and culminate in cliffs that spill down into the sea.
Neat.
Anything was going to be different.
Sea Gazer. Sky Gazer and Sea Gazer. Okay, sure, why not? A woman with long hair pulled into a ponytail who sits on a bindweed blanketed beach and stares over the sprawling sea. Yet she never even dips a toe into the surf.
Probably because she's scared of getting eaten by sharks.
Or a dolphin.
Because
The dolphins.
Madam of the
Dolphins,
Mansion.
slightly less smooth shark.
A prim butler opens the door to welcome visitors to the Madam's corpulent mansion, guiding them to her through rooms resplendent with ornate furnishings. It was when meeting his
resplendent.
talkative, lovely lady that Street Beat and the others caught their first glimpse of furry, wriggling somethings.
I don't like any of the descriptions behind that.
I do. I'm interested.
checkered king.
Oh,
This sharply dressed gentleman stage is something straight out of the Middle Ages. In the castle in the center of town he lives, along with his queen, beautiful in her gown and tiara. Is this a character who is in the game?
That's the chess guy.
Oh,
No, I mean
fuck.
the queen. We
Oh,
did.
I don't think so.
It's a metaphor for the actual queen.
At the jousting match to which the king invited them to spectate, Streetbeat and the others caught another glimpse of those furry things.
We'll probably get to those when the actual story gets there, Violet.
Yeah, these are all just introductions for
Yeah,
the
I'm-
characters in the novel, more so
I'm
than
just
their
reading
appearance
character
in the
bios.
book. Yeah.
Invisible Custodian, the stately old man who strolled out of the imposing ruins of the ancient temple. His walking stick tapping against the stone, he wanders the ruins constantly to make sure there isn't a scrap of litter in sight.
That's the Invisible Man.
Yeah, I really like how they drew the specifically the Invisible Man in this one too.
Hmm.
Also, yeah, you were totally right. There's one costume in each world that corresponds to the character because they've been showing them alongside the character in question for all of these pictures.
Yeah.
Lady of the Midnight Sun,
Oh,
aka
no.
Dubby's wife.
She's really pretty.
Fighter led everyone to a lonely stage where the sun never sets.
Why did I thought I was fucking Fox? I haven't gotten a single goddamn trophy yet. It's
In
fine.
the center of the quaint, conifer-ensconced town, they find a solitary figure sitting on a park bench. She was rather short with them when they spoke to her.
Rude.
Anyway, that's the end of the intros. On to the table of contents, which
Wow, the
showed...
table of content is just as obnoxious to look at as the stage select in the game.
I know, like, it's...
7,
okay,
11,
coolest. It's
91,
That's-
111,
what the
221.
Why is chapter
It's a-
3 100
it's a
pages?
it's a circle that, but instead of laying things around like a clock like you'd expect, it goes down vertically, but it skips from one
like
side to the other.
zigzag.
And
Yeah, I'm looking at
Why?
I'm looking at the preview image now, and it's like,
why
what the
is it
fuck?
like this? It's just like the stage select.
It makes no sense.
Oh, Yuji Naka, I have a lot of feelings about you right now.
Okay. The Balan Theater appears out of nowhere. Everyone visits this strange playhouse once or twice over the course of their life, and everyone meets Balan, the mysterious maestro with a smile like a shared secret.
Whether they
Even
like it or
you.
not.
Even you, though you wouldn't remember. No one does.
That's kind of creepy.
That's like saying that everyone's visited the North Pole, but that when they forget that when they forget that Santa exists, they just forget those memories immediately, and they can't hear the little silver bell ring.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be the parallel here.
The Polar Express and Balan Wonderworld?
Yeah, you know, don't worry about it. Childhood wonderment, or something like that. I don't fucking know.
The beginning. Out on the street, the dancers worked through their routine, perfectly in sync thanks to their long days of practice. Everyone met with cheers from the gallery. Past this spectacle went a young boy. "Hey Leo," called one of the performers, "come dance with us." It wasn't the first time the dancers had tried, and failed, to get the boy to join in. He ignored this invitation as he had ignored all the rest, and walked by the dancers without so much as a glance. For a street troupe, the dancers were surprisingly good. But to the
Wow.
boy, they were no better than amateurs.
Wow, what a dick!
What a shit!
Wow.
He kept his eyes downcast and walked. Last night, the skies had been filled with shooting stars. Dubbed the El Trandos, everyone in town had oohed and awed up at the storm of meteors filling the night. Everyone, that is, except the boy, who
I
walked
was
with his
never
eyes.
happy about anything.
who
He was
walked with his
always
eyes
bitching about
downcast
something or
then,
other.
As he did now. He didn't understand why everyone was making such a fuss over something as mundane as rocks.
Space rocks!
Yeah, fucking what kid isn't into space shit? Like, what? Like, come on.
Because
This
this
kid's got
kid,
no
because
sense
he's
of
edgy.
adventure.
boy's gaze shot up to an alley he had passed and ignored hundreds of times. Something about it called to him.
Yeah, this alley's more interesting than a fucking meteor, you know.
He turned down the alley. After a couple of steps, he saw some sort of light up ahead. The boy knew this town like the back of his hand. Last time he checked, there hadn't been anything down this alley except a vacant lot. He kept going. Surprise stopped him in his tracks. The alley led to a strange building he had never seen before. It was a theater, and a huge one too. Yet he hadn't heard anything about its construction. Dozens of neon signs flashed on its facade, but he didn't see a single person inside or out. It felt
And
like
it's facade?
Facade
yeah,
is
that's
just saying
front of
front,
the building.
basically. It, like in
Part of the
other
building that
contexts.
faces the street.
Yeah, in other contexts, it would mean like a lie, but it's
I have never heard facade used like
I
this.
mean, a facade is what is outwardly presented to the world, whether it's the front of a building or the
whether
lie
that
itself.
It-
whether
hate
yeah
that.
It actually
Whether
got
that's-
its current definition because of Hollywood, because they would build their sets using only the front half
Okay,
of the
okay.
buildings that you would
I don't
see
know
on the
shit,
camera.
By the way.
no, that's reasonable. I feel like
Mhm.
more people use it as a in the liar's context.
Yeah. He peered through one of the windows. Unexpectedly, the front doors opened wide, as if an invitation. The boy felt hundreds of eyes on him, watching, waiting. But when he looked around, there was no one there. He hesitated for a moment, then relented to the invisible force coaxing him inside. The doors closed slowly behind him, and the boy vanished from the world.
Alright.
What?
Fuck.
So fucking creepy, dude.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting this either.
yeah, I've
Well,
listened to
good
the Magnus
news-
Archive, but I know where this is going now.
Good news. The entire time it took you to read all the intros and get to the point where he walks into the theater, I just got my first statue because I took so fucking long.
Well, to be fair, you got to the
Congratulations.
platform being too fast a couple times.
Yeah. There was some weird
I'm only
nonsense
paying
happening.
attention to your feed, to be honest.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair. It's just the same Balan
Balan
bullshit.
thing,
That's
cute
the whole
stuff.
point of this. It's to
It's
stave
just
off. Yeah. I guess.
Ooh, pictures.
Yeah, I can go into photo mode if I really wanted to. I don't.
The
I
boy
was
set
talking
his
about the
music
books,
player
yeah.
on the sidewalk and switched it on. An up-tempo song began to play, and his body moved to the rhythm. For a long time, he danced. He wanted
Unlike
to move
those
like
shitty street performers, he was good at it.
he wanted to move like no one ever had before, to accomplish acrobatic feats no one else could.
Street Beat. The superhero everyone needs.
He
Fucking
gave
love-
himself that name.
Honestly, I would believe that.
Beautiful downtown was his stage. A plethora of stores took up the first floors of the 4-story brick buildings. But there wasn't even so much as a window shopper in sight. There was only the boy, dancing where he always danced. In this world, in Wonderworld, you could dance and never tire, never get sleepy. The boy had lost track of how many hours, or days, years, he'd been dancing. At some point, he noticed a shadow-like creature at his feet staring right at him. Its black body bore some sort of strange patterning. It had legs and feet, although it looked unlike any animal the boy had ever seen. This one beside him was about the size of a large dog, though others loomed much taller than the boy. There were all sorts of these shadow beasts around. Every one came in a peculiar shape, and they gave him an unsettled feeling if he looked at one long enough, but they never seemed to actually do anything, so he never paid them much mind. The boy stopped dancing and stared back at the shadow. Its attention
That's a
turned to a shimmering drop on the sidewalk. It was a crystal, about as big as a rugby ball, but the shadow stretched wide. Its maw and gulped the drop down in one bite.
Slurp.
Drops were always showing up where you least expected them. There were red ones and yellow ones, but you couldn't ignore the violets. In fact, they came in every color of the
Violet
rainbow,
stuff.
glittering something pretty. It wasn't any great loss for one to get swallowed up by a shadow. There were more where that came from. Besides, beyond being shiny, the boy did not even know what the drops were, nor did he particularly care. So long as he could keep dancing, he was satisfied. Still, though he got to do what he wanted when he wanted, a strange sort of unease would sometimes creep over him. He started dancing again to shake it off, but an image flashed through his mind, disrupting his focus. Huh? The vision shocked him out of the rhythm. His feet tangled, and he fell to the ground.
Laugh
What was
at him.
that? His heart drummed wildly inside his chest. He drew long, deep breaths, trying to remember what he had seen. I think there was a girl? She might have been 13, maybe 14, right around his age, but he was certain they'd never met. After all, there was no one else around. This was his stage, and his alone.
It's mine, bitch.
Behind
You can't have it.
Get out of here!
Behind the girl in his vision had stood a strange shadowed figure, tall, face split in a large grin, and a top hat pulled down over his eyes. The boy was certain he'd never met this man either. He had no idea who either of them were, but thinking about him made his heart start pounding in apprehension all over again.
Same.
He's fucking terrified.
He shook his head, trying to clear the vision from his mind. I'm just imagining things. Yet the uncomfortable tightness in his chest would not abate. He drew in a long breath. Someone called his name. He turned to look and saw a tall man dressed in handsome white clothes and a billowing cloak. Lance. He would visit the boy's stage from time to time, and always bore the same gentle smile. The shadows never spoke, meaning Lance, Wonderworld's maestro, as he put it, was the
Are you
only
serious?
person the boy could talk to.
I can freeze
Lance-
the Tims, but I can't freeze this fucking block.
What?
I fucking hate this. This power up's the
Oh my
worst.
god, it's just slightly too high.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, game design.
No!
There's no fucking checkpoints in this level.
Oh no!
It's fine.
Well now, what ails my poor chum? He asked. You're
My
crouched here all
poor
alone,
chum.
looking rather
My
glum.
poor chum.
Oh,
Oh
no.
god,
like a
he's gonna
rhyme.
speak. He's gonna talk and rhyme the whole book. isn't
Jesus.
he? Nothing. The boy stood, glancing away. Lance always spoke so kindly to him, and always lent a hand when he needed it. The boy didn't want to bother him with something as lame as his imagination acting up. Are you sure? Lance leaned in close, his deep blue eyes searching the boy's. I was just thinking this place could use a little something, he lied. For instance? Like some props for my routine, or some of the more acrobatic moves. In the streets? You know, like maybe fire hydrants or something.
Oh, we got plenty of those.
I'd say do it. This is, after all, your stage to command. Alter it
God.
however you see fit. You recall how I showed you the trick of it?
Oh,
I
God.
hate this. I hate this already. Fucking hate this
boy
guy.
This is why Lance is the villain, because this alone.
The boy pointed to a
Shut
street
up,
corner,
motherfucker.
envisioning what he wanted in his mind. A second later, a fire hydrant sprang into existence. Something like this, he said. Lance smiled at him. Why stop there? Change this whole place if you like. Add your own flair. This is my Wonderworld, and here on this stage, you call the shots. But should the need arise, ask for my aid with no second thoughts. For such a dear friend, both my hands I would gladly lend. With a slight flourish of his hand, Lance disappeared. As soon as he was out of sight, the boy let out a sigh of relief.
Yeah, I would too with that fucking rhyming.
It's not that he disliked Lance. The boy appreciated
do.
his help, and Lance was the absolute nicest. It was just that he liked being alone better. It was easier to relax without other people around. The boy drew in another breath and started to dance. He would dance for as much as he wanted. He planted one hand atop the brand new hydrant and swung himself up into a handstand. I don't need anything else to be happy. Just this. Just dance.
Just a fire hydrant and a street. Cause I'm street beat.
Someone started clapping. The sound of it nearly startled the boy into tumbling off the hydrant. He steadied himself at the last minute, then jumped gracefully back down to the street, looking around. There, still
Look
clapping,
stupid in front
stood a
of
girl.
Girl.
She was around 10, with a bow in her turquoise hair and a wonder in the round eyes that stared at him. The boy's mouth fell open. Aside from the shadows and Lance's occasional visits, the boy had never seen anyone or anything else here. Who are you? You mean you don't know from looking at me? Turquoise-haired girl tilted her head.
No.
I'm Clock Tower Kid. You can't tell someone's
you
name just
serious?
from looking at them. Sure you can. Let's see. You're Street Beat, right? Not even close. Then what is your name? My name? Lance had only ever called him you, and without anyone else around, not having a proper name wasn't a big deal. He never even knew he had a name until Clock Tower Kid told him so. Oh god, we're gonna have to put up with this name for the whole book.
I
That's
feel like
not
he's
really
gonna
possible.
remember it, but like, God.
Oh god. See, I knew
why
it. You are Street Beat. That's what I'm calling you. Fine, said the boy, even though it had kind of an old-timey ring to it. He needed a name, so it might as well be that one. Clock Tower Kid held out her hand. The boy called Street Beat shook it.
The boy
You could-
called Street Beat.
A boy called Street Beat.
A street
You
beat
could kiss
named
the back
Desire.
of my hand if you wanted, like a knight. Why? You don't look like royalty. Her expression creased into a slight pout. So, Clock Tower Kid, was it? Where'd you come from? My stage. You have a stage too? Of course I do. You really don't know anything, do you? Bet you don't even know what those are. She pointed to the shadow, which looked to be in the middle of snuffing around the ground for more drops to eat. Streetbeat shook his head. They're called negati. You get them on your stage then? Yeah, they're all over on everybody's stage. Wait, so there are more people? Why wouldn't there be? There are tons of people in Wonderworld, all living on their own stages. But everyone's super friendly, so we go play on each other's stages a lot. Streetbeat couldn't believe it. Lance had never mentioned anything about that to him, not even once. I had no idea. Clock Tower Kid gave him a confused look. You've been in Wonderworld this whole time, and never once thought there might be stages besides yours? She huffed. You must not be interested in other people, huh?
I'm an
Consider this-
asshole. In case you can't tell.
And I don't think anyone but me.
If they're so friendly,
Consider
why do
this-
they fade away when you get close to them? I believe when
They're shy.
the negati are actually negati are the
think the-
enemies.
Yeah, I
What
think those are the
what
enemies
I'm-
that Clue's been fighting.
what I'm getting the gist of is that Lance is basically like feeding off of his negative emotions and all that, and everyone else's worlds are at least relatively happy, but his is just kind of lonely and weird, and there are negati everywhere and
I
all
don't-
that.
I think Violet was asking about the negati.
No, that. Oh yeah, no, never mind. Whatever, I misread. Either way, it's weird. This fucking video game is weird. Makes no sense, even with the novel.
Oh my god, Gomez, you can't just ask someone why they're unsettlingly huge. That's insensitive. Come on, dude.
You can and should.
He considered this for a moment, then nodded. I don't think I am. I'm happy dancing by myself. Really? But going to other stages and making new friends is so much fun. How do you even get to someone else's stage anyway? There are
The
hidden
World Select.
passageways that connect them. I've been in Wonderworld for forever, so I found a whole bunch of secrets like that. What do you mean forever? How long have you been here? Clock Tower Kid tilted her head ever so slightly to one side. Dunno. Quit asking me questions and show me around your stage already. Streetbeat took her on a tour. It didn't take long. His stage was only a few blocks surrounded by an endless expanse of nothing. This place is teeny.
So did this kid just show up to insult him a bunch?
Good for her.
I think she specifically showed up to like make friends, and he's just being a standoffish asshole because that's his character arc.
It's plenty for dancing. If you say so. Anyway, want to check out my stage? And after that, I can introduce you to some of the others. Sure, I guess. It sounded like a pain in the butt, and he really didn't care about meeting other people, but for so long, Street Beat had assumed this was his only stage in all of Wonderworld.
Street
Now that he knew
Beat.
different, he couldn't help but be a little curious.
I can't fucking believe Street Beat.
I can't believe it either.
Street beat.
Street beat mania.
Cool, then follow me. Clock Tower Kid took the lead down the street. So, how are we leaving? Is there an underground tunnel or something? Clock Tower Kid shook her head. Nope, no tunnels. It's all in how we move. That's the key to opening the invisible doors to other stages. First, you walk straight ahead for 10 steps, then turn left for 8. She crossed the street and went down an alley, then vaulted herself over a squat wall. She was light and quick on her feet, so fast that Street Beat had to scramble to keep up. This way and that way, they zigged and zagged. He did his best to remember all the turns. Clock Tower Kid leapt nimbly off a wall. What are you, some sort of cat? Don't! She shouted.
Don't you dare call me a furry!
She crouched down, trembling, and covered her ears. Don't say that! I'm not listening! She curled in on herself more, shaking violently. Clock Tower Kid? Hey, you okay? No matter how many times Street Beat called her name, she would not respond. I'm forgetting what you said, she mumbled at last, closing her eyes. Forget. Then, all forgot, she said, and stood straight back up.
What the fuck?
I guess she's upset about her cat, but this seems like a little much.
Oh,
yeah,
but
this is not healthy, methinks. When she
also,
looked
pardon
back
that
at him, there was
elephant
no
snort
trace
that
of
I
her
just
earlier
made as
terror
my
anywhere on
laugh.
her face. What's with you, Street Beat? You gotta keep up or it won't work. So she really had forgotten his cat comparison, and what hearing it had done to her. Street Beat had no clue what had just happened, but
Me neither.
Clock Tower Kid started walking again. Followed. Whatever the reason, hearing the word cat seemed to upset her, so he resolved not to say it in front of her again.
Revolved.
I'm surprised he cares enough about other people to give a shit about that.
They walked along the wall for a while before turning a corner, and as they did, the scenery changed. Where are we? Said Street Beat, amazed. There ought to have been a hamburger shop right in front of them, but instead, it was a place he'd never seen before. My stage! Clock Tower Kid's chest puffed out in pride. We passed through the invisible walls between them. In front of them sprawled a huge plaza, in the middle of which stood a beautiful clock tower. Here and there, Street Beat could see Niggity. That much, at least, was just like his stage. Strolling along the street in front of the clock tower were people, though their bodies were partially see-through. Street Beat realized these insubstantial people must be of Clock Tower Kid's creation. And it wasn't just people walking around, but stuffed animals and dolls, too. Did you make all of this? Sure did, she said, nodding. I like all the hustle and bustle. Lance showed me how to do it. You want me to show you? Street Beat shook his head. I'm good. If you say so. Clock Tower Kid did not seem convinced, but she let it go and began the tour of her stage. It was different from Street Beat's in every way imaginable, though he had to admit it was beautiful. Clock Tower Kid had pulled out all the stops. Tied around the street lamps were bows of every color, and the benches all had covers on them embroidered with cute designs and characters. Teddy bears and fuzzy mice and all kinds of stuffed animals sat on the benches, chattering away. Street Beat was not surprised to notice there were no stuffed cats in sight. It was
So they're all
nice.
just hanging out instead of dancing creepily.
Yes,
Oh,
it was nice,
that
but
sounds so nice.
it wasn't the sort of stage he would have designed for himself. He sniffed the sweet
That's why it's
smelling
not
air,
your
feeling a little
stage,
out of
asshole.
place. What do you think? It's something else, he demurred. If you want to go back to your own stage, all you have to do is go back down the path we used to come here, backwards. For example, we went 10 forward and 8 right to get here, so to go back you'd have to go 8 forward and 10 left. What a surprise to see. Taking field trips to other stages, are we? Called a voice behind them. Street Beat whirled and saw Lance. He hadn't even noticed the man's appearance. Lance flourished a hand in his usual graceful greeting and smiled. Fancy meeting you here. Am I in trouble? For some reason, Street Beat felt like he should have asked Lance's permission before going to someone else's stage. But Lance only shook his head. Perish the thought. When have I ever told you what you can or cannot? If you want to do something, do. Far be it from me to control
Why did we
you.
kick this guy's ass again?
Because he's rhyming.
Okay,
Yeah.
besides that, does he have malicious intent towards the protagonists?
We don't know yet.
Eventually?
Based on the character info, he's not got his edgy, like, tentacle nonsense going on yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he's-
the thing, is that it's implied that they're, like, in their human forms.
Which are worse designs than their weirder forms, and I will stand by that.
Oh yeah, they're definitely not as
Right.
nice, but as their, like, quote-unquote true forms, they're believable. Like, they make sense, it's just, they're not as
They're
nice.
lame.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, it's just, you never told me there were other stages. Lance gave a shrug. Simply knowledge you never sought. You preferred to be left to your stage and your dancing, did you not? You didn't ask, and I didn't tell. Lance glanced to Clock Tower Kid. I do hope all here is well. Everything's great, she replied, smiling at him. Wonderful, splendid, fantastic, and grand. But should you need me, call my name, and I'll lend you a hand. Okay. Hey, how do you like my stage? It's more exquisite each time I visit. Lance smiled. He really looked like he meant it. I know, right? I mean, look at that teddy bear. Isn't it just the cutest? With a satisfied sigh, she pointed to one of the many stuffed animals seated upon the... One of the many stuffed animal, singular, seated upon one of the benches.
Typo in the book!
Get his ass.
Get it?
Fuck.
Oh, you need to.
Yep. Backtracking.
Here they are. Lance and the Clock Tower Kid.
Hold on, let me take a look at this artwork.
Note the
And
distinct
big.
lack of tentacles.
Yeah.
He's just a guy.
Really
he's
tall
not,
guy.
and he has very large hands.
I will say, I do like their human designs. They are definitely not as interesting, but they are still... I don't know.
Likeable.
Yeah, they're likable designs. And I would probably trust Lance in that design leagues more than I would trust fucking Malamar.
It is so, it is so. How I love watching your stage bloom and grow. Seeing you little ones happy brings such joy to my heart, though I'm afraid it is time now for me to depart. I'm sure when next I come to see all the sights, you will have created even more amazing delights. With that, Lance spun gracefully on his high heel and vanished. Do you like him? asked Street Beat. Clock
No.
Tower Kid nodded.
Fuck that guy.
If he stops rhyming, I would like him at least 20% more.
He's really nice and handsome, and he taught me how to change my stage and everything. So you're happy living here too, then? Huh? Well, I mean, yeah, but, well, lately... Clock Tower Kid shook her head. Never mind, it's nothing. Streetbeat could tell she was hiding something, but he chose not to press the issue. He didn't want to get involved in other people's problems. Besides, Streetbeat had secrets of his own, like that strange vision he'd seen. But he wasn't about to confide something like that to a little kid. Wanting to change the subject, he pointed at one of the negative picking up drops from the streets. Your stage has them too, just like you said. I told you, every stage does. Oh, right, I was going to introduce you to some of the others. Come on. Clock Tower Kid started walking. Streetbeat didn't really care about meeting other people, but he had no reason to refuse the offer either. Plus, he wanted to figure out what was causing him to feel strangely uneasy, and what that out-of-the-blue vision was all about. Who was that girl? And the tall man in the top hat? He still couldn't remember ever meeting either of them, though now that he thought of it, the man in the top hat reminded him a little bit of Lance. But Lance always had a gentle smile on his face, and the man in the top hat had been almost smirking. Hey, come on! Clock Tower Kid shouted as she rounded the corner. 2 or 3 turns later, the world around him changed again. Pensive Pierrot. They were in a giant amusement park. Streetbeat could hear a jaunty marching tune playing somewhere in the distance. Whose stage is this? Pensive Pierrot, said Clock Tower Kid. She took out a small mirror from her pocket, checking her hair with a
Remember
slight blush on her
when
face.
the fucking emote mashup thing was going around? It's the pensive emoji with the clown. That's Pensive Piero.
Alright, he gets to keep his name.
I hope you like him as much as I do. There were so many people here. Families with little kids in tow, lovey-dovey couples holding hands, probably all
Gross.
created Pensive Piero.
Nasty.
They all looked like they were having the time of their lives. The air was buttery with the smell of fresh popcorn. How come it was easier to get here than when you brought me from my stage to yours? Probably because me and Pensive are friends. I had a real hard time finding the way to your stage. That's his name, Pensive.
You're gonna use pensive and not Piero.
As she spoke, the aforementioned Piero came into sight.
Piero.
I knew it. I had a hunch you were here, Clock Tower Kid. I brought a new friend. Pensive Piero removed his grinning clown's mask, revealing a remarkably handsome young man. Hello, hello, and welcome to my amusement park. I'm Pensive Piero. You must be Street Beat, am I right? Street Beat felt his jaw drop. How did you know my name? The clown inclined his head to one side and thought. Names are meant to be known, aren't they? Clock Tower Kid was the very first person I met here, and as soon as I saw her, I knew that's what she was called. I knew her name before I even knew I had a name of my own. Clock Tower Kid nodded. Yeah, first person I met was Checkered King, and we knew each other's names right away, too. They just sort of came to us. And it's been like that with everyone I've met since. Nothing out of the ordinary. If you say so.
Oh yeah, you know, nothing out of the ordinary.
Sure, kid.
Sure.
Something told Street Beat it was very out of the ordinary, but he didn't have any hard evidence to argue otherwise.
This kid just doesn't know shit, is what I'm gathering.
In fact, he was starting to
Yeah.
think it was just the way things worked around here. Well, said Pensive Piero, sweeping into a clownish bow. It's an absolute pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Clownish bow.
Clownish bow.
Why not just say
Oh, you know.
exaggerated bow?
Because he's a clown.
And then everything he does is
Dour
clownish.
Piero.
Cynical Piero and dour Piero.
Oh God.
It's an absolute pleasure to make your acquaintance, and I do hope you enjoy yourself. You must ride the Ferris wheel first. You can take in the whole park from up there. As he spoke, he ushered them toward the towering structure. With a snap of his fingers, the ride crawled to a stop. The gondola door opened to reveal two small niggity perched on the bench with confused expressions on their faces. Oh, my apologies, Pensive Piero picked the niggity up, depositing them on the ground outside the gondola. After you.
Just remove the enemies.
Just pick him up and put him someplace else. Honestly,
Outta
that's about as it's about as effective as they are in regular combat.
Also,
He
Mush,
motioned
do
to
you
the
like-
now vacated seat. Clock Tower Kid lifted the hem of her skirt and stepped a quick curtsy before getting in, like a princess boarding a horse-drawn carriage. Street Beat and Pensive Piero followed. The clown snapped his fingers again, and the Ferris wheel started moving. True to his word, you really could see the entire park from the top. Roller coasters twisted and looped and spiraled. Families and couples queued for a turn on the merry-go-round. Teacups swirled in a rainbow of ever-changing color.
By the way, I'm the king of Team Plasma. Pensive Piero, king of Team Plasma. Good lord.
Street Beat had always written off amusement parks as childish and silly, but looking at all this made him want to check out each and every attraction. Even the one with white-clad figures outside, beckoning passersby into what Street Beat figured was a haunted house.
Even what looked like a fucking Ku Klux Klan meeting.
I think it's the spooky ghosts. Your little
Yeah,
boy.
Oh, the
think
merry
that's what-
ghosts? Oh, fuck, you're right. Damn it, I'm sad I made that comparison now. They really are the best.
I never get tired of coming here, said Clock Tower Kid, rapture on her face as she gazed at the park below. I'm happy to hear that, Pensive Piero replied with a smile. Clock Tower Kid quickly turned her reddening face away. Okay, so
Oh no, clown romance.
yeah, but also they're going with the ages that they were in their stages. At least it seems to be one-sided so far, and hopefully it stays that way.
I think a precocious crush can be like cute if it's handled well.
Yeah, you're right.
I just don't trust anything in this game or anything related to it to be handled well.
Yeah.
That is a good point. Now, the sidewalks below were crowded with more than just parkgoers. There were negati, too. It seemed like you could change every detail of your stage you wanted, except them. There's so many of them here and everywhere else. I never paid them much mind before, but now I can't help but wonder. What's their deal?
Can't help wonder.
I can't help wonder. They don't ever seem to do anything but look for drops. Without warning, Pensive Piero started shaking, all the blood draining from his face. Pensive! Clock Tower Kid grabbed his sleeve. His eyes squeezed shut, and for a while he just shook and shook. Eventually he opened his eyes, bit by bit, his breath ragged. Who are they? He mumbled. Flashes of his own vision flitted through Street Beat's head. Pensive, you saw something. Someone just now, didn't you? So, you've seen them too? Street Beat nodded. Yeah, not long ago I got this vision. With a grinning man in a top hat and a girl. That's them. Was it your first vision? Street Beat nodded again. This was my second. But it wasn't just the man with the top hat and the girl. There was a woman with long silver hair, too. I didn't get a good look at them, though. Everything was all fuzzy. Huh. I never saw a silver-haired woman. You didn't? Pensive Piero looked surprised to hear that. Ever since my first vision of her, I've had this sort of yearning. Like I want to be near her, but I can't close the distance between us. It makes me feel so very lonely.
I have a crush on her too.
Oh man, this fucking womanizing clown.
His eyes were fixed on something very far away. Clock Tower Kid tugged on his sleeve. You're not alone. You've got me. Seeming flustered, the clown gave a quick nod. I know. I don't feel so lonely when you're around. But I've always wondered why everyone calls
us.
That whole point of the teleporter is to be able to teleport through walls. Yet the distance is too short to go through the wall.
Well, just not that one, I guess.
This is literally the world where it was introduced, though, and they introduced it with those walls of coral, and yet.
What, you expect them to have consistent game design?
You know what? Yeah, that's fair. Fucking leave me alone, please.
Something bad.
But I've always wondered why everyone calls me Pensive Piero. And now I think it's because I'm
it's
always
funny
thinking.
sounding.
Because you're pensive and your name is Piero.
I'm always thinking about her. He let out a small sigh, even though I've never met her. A sorrowful look crossed the Clock Tower Kid's face. And you should just forget about her. The clown let the comment go by without response. But what about you? He said to the girl. Have you seen anything? For a few moments, she did not answer. And there's all of them in the Ferris wheel carriage with the girl and the mysterious man.
I've seen that illustration before, I think, on one of the wiki pages.
What a mysterious little man.
I've seen them, she said at last. That creepy grinning man with the top hat and the girl. She looks like she's the same age as you, Street Beat. Her name is Fighter.
Run! Run!
Fighter. Oh! Oh my god, it's cute!
I've never been happier. Hold on, what the fuck is it? Why is it so far down in the emote list? There, found it. Jesus.
Oh, that's...
Roared. Her name is Fighter. I never said anything because I didn't want you to think I was weird, Pensive. But there was a really scary
You know, with a
creature
name
there.
like Pensive.
There's a really scary creature too. It was mostly in shadow, so I couldn't really tell what it was, except that it had pointy ears.
Ooh, let's use the frog.
I will be. I'm just waiting for more to appear so I can get more.
Ah, that makes sense. Streepy wondered if it had been a cat she'd seen, but kept the thought to himself. He didn't want to send her into another panic like before. So it's not just me then. All three of us have had visions of the same grinning man and girl. It has to mean something, but what? Why are we seeing each something slightly different? The silver-haired woman for me, the scary creature for Clock Tower Kid. Did you see anything else, Streetbeat? Me? No, I didn't. But how many people are there in Wonderworld? People like us, I mean. Clock Tower Kid and I have met 12, including you. And there's signs of one other, but no one's ever been to their stage. Pensive Piero crossed his arms over his chest. Something's up. Maybe I ought to talk to the others. That grinning man and the girl called Fighter could be dangerous. You shouldn't go alone, said Clock Tower Kid, grabbing the clown's sleeve. Yeah, you're right. I'd feel better if you were with me. At that, Clock Tower Kid's face turned red again. Coming, Streetbeat?
No.
Didn't really care about meeting the others or seeing their stages, but he couldn't not
Street
care.
Beat didn't really care. Like
Street
every
Beat was
other
just
time.
determined to be the least interested protagonist in the world.
Street Beat's just a huge jackass.
But he couldn't not care if something weird was about to happen to Wonderworld. It would really suck if it got in the way of his dancing, just when he'd finally got into a good groove. Yeah, that checks out.
Fuck this scared young child, but if it gets in the way of my dancing.
Yeah, sure, I'm coming. So where should we start? If we're going to visit everyone, it would be kind of a pain, but first... Pensive Piero put a finger to Clock Tower Kid's mouth to stop her. Hold on. There's something Streetbeat needs to take in for himself. Clock Tower Kid tilted her head at him, but understanding soon blossomed over the confusion on her face. Gotcha, she said, and started walking. Pensive Piero followed, keeping pace with her as they headed toward whatever destination he apparently had in mind. Streetbeat hurried after them, but found himself glancing back over his shoulder as he went. He couldn't put his finger on it, but he had the oddest feeling that something was missing from Pensive's amusement park. It was quiet. That jaunty marching tune from earlier had stopped.
Fuck. Oh well, I didn't want that frog anyway. I've got like 6 more.
Rip the frog.
I'm actually slightly bitter. Also, hi Fridge. Things go.
Oh god, I feel like a wild animal. Mush, did you
Scarecrow.
wanna like did you wanna like swap readers every chapter so you're not needing to read this whole thing in one go?
I mean, I wouldn't mind reading the whole thing, but if you want to give
Oh,
it a
okay,
go.
okay. No.
Okay. The stage changed. The scent of oil permeated the air.
Dirt!
Dirt! In front of them stood a wooden arch, beyond which stretched nothing but corn and more corn.
Corn!
Oh.
It's Farmer Ted!
Yeah.
Farmer Ted!
The verdant stalks looked still too early to harvest. Negity wove through the fields, picking up the drops scattered here and there on the ground, just like in Streetbeat's stage. An old-fashioned farmhouse squatted in the middle of the fields. A middle-aged man in overalls and a straw hat sat in the rocking chair on the front porch.
Alright,
He must
I'm
have
gonna
noticed
need you
Streetbeat and the others because he was waiting.
I'm gonna need you to use Control F on the ebook and have it replace every name of the farmer with Farmer Ted, or just Ted.
We're here
Yeah,
to
wait.
this game. The story's bad decisions. We're not going to replace things. It's funny.
They waded through the sea of corn toward the farmhouse.
Sea of
Howdy,
corn.
Clock Tower Kid. Clock Tower Kid. Pensive Piero, and the man paused his rocking, squinting at the boy. Streetbeat, I reckon. Is there anyone who doesn't know my name?
Apparently we
Right,
didn't until like 20 minutes ago.
And you
When
yourself.
and when we discovered the fact that his name is actually Streetbeat and not Leo. You know, a normal name.
I think the idea is that he actually had a normal name because the other dancers that he just fucking ignored specifically called him Leo, but he forgot his own name as soon as he got in here.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like some identity nonsense going on. Which could be cool if they didn't call him Street Beat instead.
I know! Why Street Beat? Why don't you try guessing his? Said pensive Piero, almost teasingly.
That's
Seriously? Street Beat didn't think it would work, but he decided to humor the clown anyway. He stared at the older man, long and hard. A name popped into his head. Scarecrow? Nope, it's Ted!
yeah.
You betcha! The man clapped a hand to Street Beat's shoulder. Hi, Scarecrow. How have you been? Said Clock Tower Kid. A broad grin lit Scarecrow's face. Oh, just fine, thanks for asking. Whiling away the hours just staring at my fields.
I've just been raging against that corn like you know I like to. Oh man, we all had something to ad lib there. Hang on, Clark, you repeat what you said.
What an exciting life this man leads.
I was saying, oh, you know, just raging against the corn like I always do. You know how it is.
The man who
The
rages
storm.
against
Fuck,
the
I fucked up.
corn.
You know what I meant.
The man who rages against the corn.
Fuck. Okay, that's fine.
No!
No more frog.
F. He motioned for them to have a seat in the other chairs on the porch, then got up and opened the front door. Coffee good with you, pensive? And I've got plenty of milk for Clock Tower Kid. Ah, scratch that. You go for tea when you two visit together, ain't that right? I always have tea, corrected the Clock Tower Kid, faintly glaring at the farmer as if he let slip something he shouldn't have.
Rage against
Shucks,
the
I plumb
corn.
forgot. He
Let
said,
me know that I drink milk.
I have strong, healthy bones, and you will be sure to provide sustenance for my
said,
bones.
scratching the back of his head. Pensive Piero chuckled. What'll it be for you, Street Beat? I'm good with whatever.
Of course
Don't be
you are.
shy now. I gotta make a good first impression. In that case, I'll have a ginger ale. Back in 2 shakes, said Scarecrow, and disappeared inside. The three of them reclined on the porch. I like this stage. It's quiet. The clown can relax here.
Only clowns, though.
Just letting that line sink in.
A clown
Only
can
clowns.
relax here.
Yeah, it's nice. Street Beat nodded. His gaze wandered over the sheds, the various farming equipment left out here and there, and a windmill for pumping water, unmoving while someone tinkered away at it. Everything left him feeling oddly wistful. Hope you're thirsty. Scarecrow reappeared with a tray bearing coffee, tea, and a glass of ginger ale. Make yourselves at home. The farmer eased himself back down into his rocking chair. So, he said to Street Beat, tell me about your stage. What do you get up to over there? It's just a normal city street, full of shops and stuff, but I don't go shopping. I just dance. All the time? Golly, you kids sure have plenty of energy to spare.
I'm like
Me?
60. I don't have that fucking kind of energy.
Me? I like to sit in this here rocking chair and look out at the fields. Spend my days peaceful like. Pensive Piero furrowed his brow. Are they all peaceful? I only ask because, well, 3 of us have been getting these odd visions. Scarecrow's eyes shot up from his own coffee. From his expression, Street Beat could tell he'd seen something too. You mean you've seen the grinning man in the top hat? And the girl called Fighter and them dancing trees too?
The dancing.
Some trees?
I think they're referring to the end of stage things that I'm looking at.
Pensive Piero tilted his head. Well, none of us have seen the trees. The only things our visions all have in common are Fighter and the grinning man. What else was in yours, then? I saw a woman with long silver hair. Clock Tower Kid saw some sort of scary creature. Street Beat only saw Fighter and the man in the top hat. Dancing trees, you say? A frown dug a deep
Dancing
trench across
trees.
Scarecrow's face. Them dancing trees. They want to take everything from me. 3 times I've seen them now, and every time they get closer. Clock Tower Kid clasped her hands to her chest. What do you think it means? Farmer released a sigh. Beats me. Reckoned I was imagining things, but I ain't the only one seeing these visions.
You gotta go burn down them forests.
I'm gonna commit mass deforestation.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm worried about the others too. The three of us are going to pay everyone a visit, see if we can't find out anything else. Pensive Pierrot stood from his chair. Thanks for the coffee. Moseying on already, are you? Scarecrow rubbed a hand along his jaw, deep in thought. I reckon you ought to head to Bugsy's stage next. It's the closest one to mine. That's the plan. Thanks for the lovely tea, Scarecrow, said Clock Tower Kid, curtsying. Scarecrow stood and waved as they waded away through the cornfields. Clock Tower Kid kept turning around to wave back until he disappeared from sight.
Okay, so I know that this game isn't exactly known for everything making sense and all that, but I'd like to point out that neither of the two stages immediately adjacent to Farmer Ted's stage is Bugsy's stage, which is completely
Clown
opposite
stage.
his.
Yeah. It's still on the other side.
The stage select makes even less sense than it did.
It really
Not even
does.
there justification for it.
So the stages aren't all just connected the same way? Nope. For whatever reason, some are easier to get to, depending on where you leave from. Like, it'd be a pain to get to Pensive stage. It'd be a pain to get to Pensive stage from here, but it's super easy to get to his from mine. Clock Tower Kid sounded pretty pleased about that. 3 steps ahead, turn left for 7. Street Beat did his best to remember the way, but a niggling sensation in the back of his mind spoiled his
Niggling. What?
It's a word.
I know, but it's just a weird
It's a
word
word,
that
but
I
it's-
rarely hear.
It's not a one you should be using very often because it sounds bad.
Hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
hey,
it does
Bugsy.
sound pretty bad.
Something bothered him about how Scarecrow said he spent all his time in his rocking chair, but Street Beat couldn't put his finger on why.
Back at it again with the
Bugsy.
titty shrooms.
I love those things.
The stage changed again. They were in some sort of forest. The air didn't smell like farm soil anymore, but like leaves and tree bark.
Whatever.
Trees of all shapes and sizes towered on every side of them, and their feet blossomed beautiful flowers. Clock Tower Kid poked at an adorable little mushroom. Its umbrella-shaped cap deflated as out from the folds puffed sweet-smelling spores. After a few seconds, the cap ballooned back out. Cool, huh? I call them aroma shrooms. They smell different depending on the color. She poked and prodded mushroom after mushroom. Curious, Street Beat decided to try poking one for himself. But before he could, a voice called out from behind them. He spun around and saw a girl of about his age with a shy smile on her face. Hi, Clock Tower Kid. I knew it was you as soon as I smelled the aroma shroom. Good to see you too, Pensive. And... The girl, Bugsy, fixed her eyes on Street Beat. Street Beat, nice to meet you. Yeah, same. He gave her a quick dip of his head in greeting. It warms the cockles to see you well, your Bugsiness.
What?
Okay,
You know, the cockles of your
What
heart.
is the word choice in this book?
everything.
Said Pensive Piero, sweeping a bow that would put any court jester to shame. Got nothing to say about that one. What do you think of my
Don't wanna
stage?
think about it anymore.
What do you think of my stage, Street Beat? Said Bugsy, stifling a giggle at the clown's antics. Street Beat cast his eyes around the forest.
So far,
It was
the
not
most
densely-
unrealistic thing in this book is the fact that anyone thinks that clowns are funny.
Street Beat cast his eyes around the forest. It was not densely wooded, so there was plenty of sunlight filtering in through the leaves. And, unsurprising for a stage belonging to a kid called Bugsy, the place was crawling with bugs. Beetles, ladybugs, ants, all of them as big as puppies. And there were swarms of niggity too, just like on every other stage. It's nice. I like bugs too. Bugsy grinned and took them on a tour. Grasshoppers, perhaps startled by the group's footfalls, leapt from their path. She showed them her favorite pond, where dragonflies big enough for a person to ride on glided gracefully across the surface. There were even spiders, which Street Beat expected most girls would loathe. Their lacy webs were not sticky at all, he found, but melted like snow under his touch. The webs aren't for catching anything, explained Bugsy eagerly. Here on my stage, I wanted all the bugs to live together in harmony. That means no one is anyone else's snack. Streetbeat thought that was sweet, but something else was weighing on his mind. He expected no less for a girl called Bugsy to populate her stage with a bunch of, well, bugs, but there was one species missing. He'd not seen a single butterfly since arriving. His curiosity had ballooned since that realization, but something told him he shouldn't bring it up.
The one and only bug species out of millions that's missing is butterflies.
Okay, I'd like to point out, this gear is not working here.
What?
So I might know why that is, and it's because, there's a larger gear costume.
God.
What?
I don't know why. I don't know why. There's
I
And
hate
there's
this
3 pounding.
fucking game.
yeah, there's 3 pounding things. There's pounding pig, there's the robot, and then what else is there that did the same thing?
God.
Fucking
Oh, it's the panda, I think.
no, the panda was just something that used its body weight. Like you would just land on it. It wouldn't be like a dedicated command.
Oh.
Yeah.
What if Bugsy reacts to the word butterfly the same way Clock Tower Kid reacted to cat?
Well, don't say butterfly. It's that easy.
Streetbeat learns about sugar warnings.
Pensive Pierrot and Clock Tower Kid had known her longer, so they probably knew the deal with Bugsy and butterflies. That would explain why they also refrained from commenting on it. I wonder if they think there's a word they shouldn't say around me, too. But what word
Dancing.
would that be? He wanted to ask
Despite the fact
about
that that's
it,
the
but
only thing that he talks about.
something told him he shouldn't bring that up either. Instead, he asked if Bugsy had had any visions featuring the grinning man and the girl called Fighter. A smile took flight from Bugsy's face. Yeah, I've seen them. 3 times. I didn't mention it because I didn't want anyone thinking I was weird. Her eyes brushed timidly over each of them. Same reason you never said anything, right? Hiya! Came a woman's voice above them. Streetbeat saw a tall woman, her head wrapped in a bandana, whom he guessed was somewhere in her 30s. With nimble movements, she maneuvered herself down the tree towards them. She had a welcoming smile on her face. Streetbeat stared at her. You must be Watcher of the Woods. Yep, but
What a long ass name.
You can just call me Watcher. Wonderful to meet you, Streetbeat. She
You know,
clapped
if we
a
had
friendly
normal
hand
names,
on
you
his
wouldn't have to
shoulder.
call me that, but, you know.
You're getting good at the name thing, said Panzerpiero, smiling. Why are you called Watcher of the Woods? Wish I
She
knew.
watches the woods, jackass.
Idiot.
She tilted her head to one side, thinking, maybe it's because I spend all day patrolling the trees. What are you patrolling for? You know, to make sure nothing bad or anything happens. Watcher snorted. Oh, it's not like anything bad ever happens in Wonderworld. Pensipiero frowned.
Correction, the game happens.
I don't know about that. There's something we wanted to ask you, Watcher. Seeming to glean the gravity of the situation from the clown's tone, she said, let's talk about tree.
The gravity of the situation from the clown's tone. Literally every time they refer to him solely by his profession, it just removes any source of tension.
I love it.
Clown.
The clown's
clown.
tone. No, I
Let's
didn't
talk
want to end the
about
stage
Treehouse.
yet. Fuck. It's fine.
Streetbeat and the others climbed up after her, putting their hands and feet in the same place as Watcher put hers. Higher and higher they went, and higher still, until the entire forest spread out beneath them. Streetbeat knew they were climbing one of many gigantic arbors. But
I really cannot emphasize enough how much hearing the name Street Beat over and over again just takes me the fuck out of it. It's like the point of writing like is supposed to like suck you into this world that is exclusively illustrated by words, more or less. Like that's a pretty loose definition of it. But when you're breaking like any semblance of like universe or whatever when you have a character whose name is fucking Street Beat. Whatever, continue.
Here, I thought you were going to comment on the use of gigantic arbors.
I must have missed that? What?
This book did go a little hard with the thesaurus, it seems.
Yeah, I feel like part of that might be due to the process of translating, maybe? Or it could have just been really shittily written to begin with.
Which do you think is more likely?
I'm, like, genuinely, as a genuine answer to the question, probably the former of just being a really weird translation. Like, I do think that there's some semblance of things, but, like, it just, I don't know, it doesn't click. It does not click. I needed a couple more runs in the editing machine, and it didn't get any.
Editing machine broken.
Editing machine broke.
From up here, it was impossible to tell just how high above the ground they were, or even how much further the tree towered into the sky. He remembered watching a line of ants scampering up a tree by the side of a road once and felt as tiny as they had been. He had to hand it to Watcher for creating something so incredible, but at the same time he noticed something missing. He couldn't keep his curiosity lidded. "Pensive," he whispered. "There aren't any birds." "Shh!" hushed the clown, putting a finger to his lips. "You probably know this already, but pointing out what's different about someone else's stage is bad manners." "So there's, like, a rule against it or something? Who decided that?" "It's not something anyone decided, so to speak. We just can't talk about it." Up until now, Streetbeat thought everyone could change their stages to be whatever they wanted. That everyone lacked for nothing and spent their time exactly as they wished. But maybe that isn't true. Okay. So that means there's something different, something missing from my stage too. Maybe, maybe not. I've never been to your stage, so I wouldn't know, Pensive Piero mumbled. Watcher's treehouse was something else. Streetbeat could tell it had been constructed very carefully to avoid damaging the tree in which it was built. Inside, there was a small table and a cozy bed. "Sorry I couldn't build the tree houses any bigger without risking hurting the trees. Still, it's just the right size for one person, don't you think? That said, I know it doesn't leave much room for chairs, so pull up some floor." Watcher perched on the side of her bed. Pensive Piero sat in the opposite corner, and Clock Tower Kid...
Like a bird does.
And Clock Tower Kid and Streetbeat sat beside him. The three of them took up the entire floor of the treehouse. Clock Tower Kid sat squished beside the clown. "Sorry again. I know. Sorry again. I know it's a squeeze." "Not at all," said Pensive Piero. "It's a lovely treehouse. Now, to the matter at hand." He took a breath. "Are you here to ask about the visions?" Watcher's words caught Streetbeat off guard.
Literally everyone has only one thing to talk about.
How did you know?
Such a fucking slog of an intro.
We're gonna go through all 12 worlds
Yeah,
of everything.
we have to
We are.
introduce.
We're gonna go through all 12 words and talk about the same thing over and over again.
We have to introduce every single character before the book proper can begin. We're already on.
This is how
page
you write.
56.
How many
Boy,
pages
50
are
pages,
there?
eh?
237.
200. Jesus Christ.
Why?
How do you even have that much to say about this game?
If they say it 12 times in a row.
Oh, Christ. The entire first half of this book is just gonna be repeating, "Hey, have you seen any visions?" They're like, "Yeah, there was a big man in a top hat, and a girl, and also some other thing that deals with my trauma." And
This feels like it was written for a grade 10 short story contest.
Well, for a time, that is rather long.
oh, but,
Just like the game, it overstays its welcome.
And
well, it's certainly giving me the Balan Wonderworld experience.
AKA, bad.
Yeah.
It's not even like comically bad the way the game itself is. It's just kind of a slog.
Meandering.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't exactly vet.
I
the
mean,
thing
if you
before I
want, you can
started.
kind of skim through the, most of it.
It's fine. I mean. we're
No,
just
no,
chilling.
I'm speaking like genuinely. Like it is, if we want to get the most interesting bits from this fucking book, I'm not opposed to just kind of, skipping around. Also, Violet, I will rip out your throat.
Yeah, no, I'm not dissing a 12-page short story. I'm dissing a 200-page short story.
250.
Fuck. Why did I even bother?
Goodbye, sheep.
Wait, what the fuck?
It's 250 pages, Fridge Turtle.
Yes, it is long. It is not a short story, even a little bit.
It's a full light novel.
Yep. It is still a light novel, technically. I believe. I might be mistaken in the definitions of that.
I think light novel is less about length and more about like kanji usage.
Yeah, it's about the alphabet that you use to write it in. I know. Okay, so
Keep fucking going, I guess.
I might just start skimming through this bit until we get past
Get to the actual
the
plot.
Kingdom Hearts 2 last
There's
prologue.
a plot.
Yeah, I haven't even played Kingdom Hearts 2, and I know how bad the opening is. Where it's just like, why do we need to do all of this?
Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna start skimming through it. So watch
Oh
your
man,
woods.
yeah, you're gonna have to stop and find the names of every character though, because it's essential that we learn what their fucking weird ass code names are.
Didn't we get them all in the intro pages?
Yeah,
That's
they
true.
were all in the character
like
bios at
hearing
the
them
beginning, but
again.
I didn't know those were gonna be their actual names.
Again, I do feel like part of it is down to the fucking localization and translation of things, and just
Does that mean we're gonna have to call a character like Lady of the Twilight Sun for 100
Yep.
pages?
Yeah.
I
Something like
think
that.
She just gets called lady or something.
Oh my god, what those platforms?
they were all angled too.
Disgusting.
I fucking hate this.
Should just, I don't know, bring double jumper more places. It's extremely useful.
Well, I
You can
only
just
have
jump
so
down
many.
there!
I only have so many left. Is the problem,
Oh.
and I'm trying to conserve them a little bit until I get back to World.
So Watcher sees a vision of a girl called Fighter and a grinning man in a top hat and some sort of giant, terrible beast. Any idea what it could mean? Not a clue.
Just as planned. Oh boy.
Where are you headed next?
Oh.
To see Sentinel of the City?
Sentinel of the City. Oh
Yes,
my god,
but
I forgot
there, kid.
about that.
His stage is closest from here and all. I'll come with you, said Watcher, leading the way up the treehouse. I want to make sure he's okay. Dusk lingered over the city and Sentinel stage. It reminded Streetbeat of a town in his own stage, except there were lights on in all the windows, and inside he caught sight of people going about their evening.
What's it, not on fire yet?
Sentinel of the
Not
City
yet.
sounds like the title of a Stephen King novel.
A little bit.
On the opposite side of the street, a tall, muscular man with close-cropped hair returned the wave, calling, "Sup?" With a name like Sentinel, Streetbeat had thought he would look a little more imposing or something, but he was.
But
dressed
he was
in a regular
actually
old
a bitch.
He was dressed in a regular old shirt and jeans, just like Watcher.
Because he's actually a bitch. That's afraid of being a firefighter, despite the fact that that's his chosen path. Remember that one time when I used this costume and I just fucking zipped all the way over? I remember that. That was when I was having a good time with this game.
You were having a good time with this game?
You know what? Yeah, that's a reasonable point. No! That was my last fucking spider costume.
Oh no!
Fuck it, I'm warping to the exit. Actually, wait, can I even just... No, I don't. I can't get that fucking... No, I probably can use the fucking frog. I'm gonna try the frog.
Look.
This fucking video game never ceases to amaze. For better or for worse.
Nothing like
So-
Balan Wonderworld.
Street Beat wonders if Sentinel and Watcher are related somehow.
Fuck.
You two seem close. We are. It's easy to get to one another's stage. Plus, there's the whole thing with our names being similar. Guess that's why she and I hit it off. We hang out all the time. I'm really not sure what to just skip through in this. Clock Tower Kid and Pens of Piero don't have anything in common, and Kid's not happy about that.
Of course.
Sucks to be her.
Oh my
Talk
god,
about
they
the
were
names for like
leads.
3 pages.
They
No-
keep
none of us,
fucking talking about names. Like, shut up.
none of us even understand why
Oh,
we
wait.
know our names
Oh.
like we do.
Lance is
Yeah,
back.
we know. You told us that like 3 times.
And then they begin to recount the visions they'd each experienced.
Because of course they do.
Grinning man in a top hat, girl called Fighter, and the man that looks like me. Someone
Oh.
that looks like you? Yeah, it really bugs me. Every time I see him, I get this really awful feeling. Sentinel's shoulders sag. I hate it. Before the visions, I never had anything to worry about. I
Oh
could
my god, is
patrol
he talking
city-
about the fucking fire hydrant?
I could patrol my city in peace, happy as a clam. I think it's strange that would need to change, said a voice from behind them. Streetbeat turned and saw Lance, an oddly grave expression on his handsome face. Lance? What's wrong? Lance sighed. I came here to tell you, these things you do, you really don't have to. Just like on Clock Tower Kid's stage, Streetbeat couldn't help feeling he had done something wrong. He explained to Lance what was going on. Are we not allowed
Listen
to
up, you little lout. If you keep fucking around, you're going to find out. Basically what I'm getting there is just, hey, stop trying to figure out the shit that I'm, like, doing. Oh, fuck.
They were
Well-
nearby stage mate.
Oh my god, they were nearby stage mates.
Are we not allowed to investigate what's happening to Wonderworld? No, dear friend, there's no such decree. Lance tilted his head. I told you before, you'll never hear commands from me. Your happiness is my only wish, my greatest satisfaction, so I can't help but worry over your course of action. Why? Will it get in the way of us being happy? Lance brushed his long hair back with his fingers. Indeed, I fear that may be the case. I can see it written all over your face. The more clues you seek to uncover, the more unpleasant horrors you'll discover.
Because this
But,
place is
like,
actually
losing at
really
chess.
shitty.
But I don't think any of us will feel better until the visions stop, pressed Streetbeat. I want to find out what's causing them. Well, if nothing I say can dissuade you, then there's nothing I can do but aid you.
Lance Gruntilda, I hate that you're right.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, Gomez, you're right.
That
Gruntilda
was like
runs better than
funny
this.
though.
If you ever find yourselves in trouble, call for me, and I'll be there on the double. Lance let out another sigh, and turned on his heels and disappeared down the street. What should we do?
Street beat.
Beat his way down the street.
Yeah, plus, yeah, Gruntilda came off as cheesy on purpose. This feels like it's trying to be charming and completely failed.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Also, the I know that The biggest complaint that I have about the costumes being limited is when I need to use them in other stages, and I don't have them, and I can't go back to get more of them. Because even in this world, the Act 3 stages, they imply that you're going to be using the same costumes from the previous levels, but they don't give you any more of them. So I'm now entirely out of sheep and acrobat, except for the one sheep that I have in my inventory right now, and it's just, that's really frustrating and
It's
not...
Absolutely
bad game
incredible.
design.
Yeah, it's really bad game design, as a matter of fact.
Can't take that Amadeus costume. It kills me.
What?
Which costume?
Amadeus.
Fucking hair!
Oh,
It's the
that
hair in combination with the fucking
With that
piano
fucking
keys.
piano skirt. It's so
Mhm.
funny.
It's really good.
Amadeus.
I miss having Aircat.
I don't know about the rest of you, Streetbeat said, but my mind's made up. I want to meet everyone else here in Wonderworld and figure out who Fighter and that grinning man in the top hat are. And why the rest of you all see something else, but all I ever see is the two of them. The one time I had my vision. Jeez.
Because your worst nightmare is there being nothing there at all.
I just saw the
Sorry.
whale in the background, and I was reminded of when I actually enjoyed this stage the first time through. Like, I genuinely had some degree of fun when I was first playing this stage.
Do you remember what happiness feels like?
Not
Oh
anymore.
yeah, are there any mysterious gigantic people in any of these stage
Nope,
3s?
we've solved their problems.
Oh god, those.
Not alone.
It feels surprisingly empty, actually.
There's not even the dancing dudes.
Yeah, the
Okay,
dance-
that I didn't really process until now, but yeah, that's super weird.
Huh.
so quiet. It's creepy.
I mean, the fact that we don't get audio is also affecting how quiet it is.
Yeah, that might be part of it, but like,
But yeah, you're right. It does feel
Oh,
weirdly lonely
Shit,
without
you're
them.
right. I had a music playlist going and it paused a long time ago and I didn't even notice.
I
Alright,
never thought I'd miss the weird dancers, but now I do.
I think I
They
might,
have pins.
just for the sake of speeding up exploration a little bit, I might actually do a little bit of costume grinding, which I can't believe that's a sentence I have to say
Costume
for the
grinding.
earlier stages.
Everything about this game is bad design decision after bad design decision. It's insane.
It's really come to a head at this stage, honestly.
Sorry, but you'll have to count me out, said Watcher with a shake of her head. Talking to Lance has me all sorts of worried about my force now. I need to get back on my patrol. I need to stay in my city too. The stoic expression turned Sentinel's face stony as he glanced around the streets. Someone has to protect it. As he followed Sentinel's gaze down the street, Streetbeat realized what was missing from the stage. Fire hydrants. The only reason he noticed was because he'd just created one on his own stage. Otherwise, the detail may well have escaped him.
Okay, you know what? I'll give it that. That's actually a reasonable way to come across that observation. Like, that's somehow managed to make it work.
But he knew he probably shouldn't say anything about it. Streetbeat had always believed Wonderworld was a land of freedom and happiness, but now he was starting to think it wasn't all it was cracked up to be.
yeah, you've said that like 5 times now.
We'll let you know as soon as we find anything, said pensive Piero, to the two staying behind, and waved farewell. Sky Gazer. What are we? Are we halfway through the cast now?
Oh, we might be.
Please
Jesus
be.
Christ. This is very much reminding me of my own writing process where I just kind of put everything in stream of consciousness, and I tend to repeat myself a lot, but I like go back and edit it afterwards. so
Yeah.
I'm saying the same thing 10 times.
Hmm.
It's It's like they did that stream of consciousness writing, but forgot to go back and edit.
I do think part of it is also down to just how we make or how we write and how many more words it takes. I don't know enough about light novel kanji or light novels kanji or the Japanese language as a whole to really speak for it, but it's just something that it could be a possibility. I don't fucking know.
I've heard a couple of light novel translations before. They are not in this way.
I've read some light novels. I've read ReZero before and stuff, and like, I do think part of it is just that this is just for kids, and they're trying to be very over the top to make sure the kids understand, because this entire thing so far has been oversimplification and smashing it in your head with the skull, or smashing it into your skull with the hammer. And they just seem to think children are very stupid and won't understand unless they say the same thing 12 times.
I am so sorry. I thought this would at least be more fun than it ended up being.
I mean, honestly,
Well, I'm having
learning
a good
how
time making
learning
fun
how
of it.
weird and stupid it is just as entertaining as it's honestly more interesting than what I'm playing right now, because it's just more
I'm
of the
not
same
having
shit.
A bad time with it. It's like, there's a lot to complain about, but complaining about bad things is fun. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm having a good time hating this with you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's the reason I wanted to return to this game, specifically so that we could go through the novel at whatever the fuck.
Okay, so they're now in the exact same place that you are.
Yeah, the Sky Watcher, right? Or Sky Spotter?
Sky Gazer.
Gazer. Sky Gazer
Gazer
Beam.
Beam.
Honestly.
Same joke. Gazer Beam. Woo, Fridge.
That is the first time I've ever seen that animation in a hot second.
Yeah, there's no 3 stages, right?
Yeah. Or there's like some, but there's not enough. And on top of there just not being enough of them, there's also, there's no additional dudes just hanging out. Back at it again with the Fox Box.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
baby.
Books!
The
S tier
only
costume,
costume
everyone.
ever.
Have you found an actual use for this thing yet?
There's one, and it's on the platform where I got it.
Great.
But it's sliding into spiky enemies on a slope, I think, if I understood
Oh.
that area correctly, which it is entirely possible I didn't.
That is extremely situational.
Yeah, most of the when it feels like it costumes have one purpose, to my understanding, where there's just like one instance where you actually use them.
I
It's
feel
just
like that can be said about like half the costumes in this game.
oh, definitely.
Okay, I have been guzzling water because because I've been reading this whole time
Yeah.
and talking, so I'm just gonna be right back if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead, use the bathroom.
Okay.
I love how the Tims are more effective at combat than I am sometimes.
Good.
See, Foxbox would be actually like useful if there was like if there was another version of it that you would get later that let you do it on command. Because like, okay, so I know what
I mean, you haven't
most
seen the extra costume for the extra
Useful?
yet, have you?
I've seen some of the extra costumes. So like for example, I know that there's the bigger king gear, but that's just like a better version of something that we already have. So it's like, and it's just really dumb and bad, but you know, that's to be expected. But when it comes, I know one of the costumes, I believe it's the one in World 6, whichever one whichever one the birds are in, the same one that has Lucky Egg, it's a costume called Lucky Bird, I think it is, or like Lucky Chick or something, but it's basically saying like, hey, it's the adult form of that egg, and it has the same item sucking effect, but you don't lose it when you drop, which is just the same costume, but better. And honestly, I don't think that that's the worst idea if it's something that's harder to get. But also there's the fact that you can't fucking use costumes, like you can't, like, they're finite resources for the most part. Like, you can technically grind for them, but like, it's really inconsistent and hard to tell how you actually go about doing that. I wouldn't mind costume grinding as much if I could just get the costumes to fucking appear when I need them to.
I mean, I give the drops something to use. Make them like a shop where you can buy them after you through the level.
Yeah, with the drops that have no other fucking purpose.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, even fucking, what's-his-face, Moneybags from Spyro is less, or is more practical with, how the fuck am I supposed to do this? Is this an actual puzzle? Am I about to have an actual puzzle?
This thing?
Imagine that.
Big if two.
And I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Good to be back. All right.
Are you sure?
You're right. It's debatable.
There's nothing good about Balan Wonderworld.
There's like a couple good cutscenes.
The dancing the first time you see one.
Yes.
Clock Tower Kid and Pensive Piero started walking straight for the cliff, though Streetbeat couldn't see anyone in that direction. He followed after them. "Don't tread on me, Clock Tower Kid," came a voice from their feet, startling Streetbeat. Splayed in the grass was a bespectacled boy who looked like he could be in high school. Streetbeat guessed that since he could talk, he must be the stage master. "Silly, I'd never step on you. You're always lying in the same place." "What are you doing?" asked Streetbeat. "What's it look like, Streetbeat? Living up to my name and gazing at the sky." Skygazer stretched out his hand without getting up from his prone position. Streetbeat took his hand and shook it. "Is that all you ever do?" "Yep."
Pretty much.
"Don't you get bored?" "Nope. There's a nice breeze, and plenty of clouds come drifting by to entertain me. Cumulonimbus, Cumulus, Nimbostratus, Cirrocumulus.
Oh my
Cirrostratus
god,
are
what
my
a
favorite."
fucking nerd!
I hate all of these characters.
Cirrostratus are my favorite. I like the way you can see the sun haloing through them.
Fucking nerd!
What about when the breeze stops and there aren't any clouds? Oh, I love a good clear sky. The longer you look at it, it changes color ever so slowly. And for some reason, when I look out at where the sky and sea meet, my heart swells so full I could cry.
You know what?
Streetbeat.
Good for this kid. Good. I'm glad he can enjoy himself.
Streetbeat gazed out over the water. Out in the sea was an oddly shaped island. As he looked out at it, its name materialized in his head. Is that Cetacean Island? Clock Tower Kid stared at Streetbeat in shock. "Hey, it's not just people you can name now." "What's on that island?" Skygazer let slip a snicker. "Who knows?" Then he ate the snicker.
Make the story more
You're
interesting.
not you when you're hungry. Is that how they're gonna solve the bosses in this, by giving them Snickers?
Oh fuck yeah, here we go.
It's actually a sponsorship.
Didn't you create it?" "Nope. I made everything else here, but I had Lance make that island. I mean, where's the fun in knowing every single detail about your stage? I wanted
He heard
someplace
exposition by the
mysterious."
voice in his head. You know what? That's actually the most accurate description of this fucking novel. I hate that. You're right. Fuck.
God. I love the color of the sky.
I wanted someplace mysterious. Somewhere even I can't go. Clock Tower Kid tilted her head. You're weird. What's so great about not knowing something? She may not have understood, but Streetbeat thought he got where Skygazer was coming from. The bespectacled teenager stretched a hand toward the sky. Cetacean Island, the sky, they're both so far away, you couldn't reach them if you... His hand froze. Surprised, Streetbeat glanced back down at him. The teenager's eyes were unblinking. His teeth gritted as beads of sweat slipped down his face.
He was dissociating. He let him be for a little bit, and then he was fine.
Damn, bitch. Me too.
After a while, Skygazer seemed to recover from the paralysis. His hand went... he went limp, his hand flopping to his chest. You just saw something, didn't you? A vision. Skygazer paused. So you've seen them too, then? Yeah. Unease clouded Skygazer's vision. Yeah. Fighter, grinning man top hat, and this machine. I don't know what it was. It
It's
was
a
big
bicycle.
It was a big jumble of spinning gears and whirring drill teeth, and it was flying right toward me.
Oh,
Skygazer
I
wiped the
just
sweat off his
fucking...
face.
It's the fucking boss. It's their inner demons. Whatever the
Yep.
fuck.
I think I put that together on the last one, but
Wasn't Farmer Ted's boss a big wolf? Why are you seeing dancing trees?
that's
worry
that's
about
what.
it.
I think the dancing trees is the fucking warpy things at the end of the stage. The funky... with the fucking garbled ass whatever the fuck in it. What fucking stage am I going in?
Yeah. Then recap. Everybody sees some weird monster in their dream. Streetbeat sees jack shit. We're worried about everyone. I'm worried about Sea Gazer. I knew you would be.
Dolphin
The
lady.
Clock Tower Kid smiling. You two are best friends, huh?
Best
Yeah,
friend.
I don't know why, but I feel like the two of us are really similar, even though we don't have a single thing in common. I mean, Sea Gazer's really cool, and I'm just plain and boring.
I'm a fucking nerd.
You'd be less boring if you stopped talking about clouds.
You know, thinking about the actual, like, cutscene that we got in the stage, I can't actually think of any immediate comparison between the two. What the fuck is their relationship? Or, like, similarity?
They both have Gazer in their name.
Okay, you know what?
That's it. That's it.
Okay, yeah. We'll go with that.
I gaze at the sky. I gaze at the sea. Are we friends now?
Did we just become best friends?
And then Skygazer fucking books it. Their names were similar and their stages were close together. Streetbeat thought there must be something connecting them, even if they themselves did not realize it yet. They don't have anything in common in the game.
They
They
really
were
don't.
Both scared of continuing their hobby.
That's everybody!
Yeah, that's like half the characters in this fucking game.
I'm just trying to think of something, man.
I think it's mostly just we were neighbors.
And they were neighbors.
Oh
my
god, they were
God, they were
neighbors.
neighbors.
Everyone in sync just immediately.
Sea Gazer. A girl with her long hair pulled back in a ponytail sat on a beach, blanketed in shore bindweed. There's that again. What the hell is that?
I'm googling that.
Because, like, they say
Eyes
it
on
so
the waves.
surely, like, it has to be a thing, right?
Maybe? I guess?
Why are all the statues in the Act 3 of Stage 3 past the fucking finish line?
To trick you.
Whatever.
Apparently, there's a whole bunch of bindweed.
Oh, arbor is just a fancy name for woods.
Yeah.
Latin.
It's a morning glory.
share a picture and remind me of what the fuck that is.
It's like a white flower, isn't it?
Oh, those things. I think I remember that now. I think this is the worst stage that I've played so far. Like, out of the Act 3s, this stage has just been a lot of bullshit and just nothing. Like, there's no objectives that I can find. And despite my best efforts, and it's just... whatever.
The objective is to drive you mad.
Apparently.
So they're
Doing
bound
a good job of it.
And enter the real world.
I mean, not like I'm helping.
Yeah, learning, quote-unquote learning the plot of this game is driving me crazier than anything that I could have found in this game.
Can you imagine learning the plot of the game in the game?
Couldn't
Pretty
be
true.
couldn't be Yuji Naka. Oh man, it occurs to me I haven't done any of these all night.
Caramba! I hate it when there's a lot of hair on the floor. Here, I'll go clean up.
Thank you.
Oh god.
It's a fucking good sound effect.
Skygazer rushed over to him. As if she sensed him coming, Seagazer turned her head slowly to face him. You okay? He asked. Why wouldn't I be? I mean, because... Never mind, no reason.
You died!
He mumbled. Pretty sea today, as usual. Isn't it? Agreed Seagazer in gentle delight. Oh, hello, Street Beat. Wonderful to meet you.
I cannot express enough how fucking stupid that name is. It's just the worst.
Though she was of a sunnier disposition than Skygazer, Street Beat got the same vibe from her as he did from the bespectacled teenager.
Violet's
Skygazer had been
comment
right.
is
They really were
fucking
similar.
great. You know, I think the fact that there's no dialogue in this game is actually a sign of Yuji Naka's mercy. Yuji Naka is anything but merciful at this point. I didn't get a
Yuji
single...
Naka wants you to suffer. You personally.
This whole Balan thing is just an experiment to see how far we can push people to like go insane.
Oh god, well it's working. I feel insane.
Oh, if Balan opened his mouth and actual words came out, I'm not sure how I would react.
He very nearly did. The one time they gave him subtitles in the penultimate
you
cutscene,
have us
but
to
not
do
the
it.
final cutscene, just the one before it.
Batui!
Yeah, he says Batu.
To Clara Tui! God, I wish these fucking stages were in numerical order. It would make things so much easier.
Okay. Yeah.
Enter stage. Hi!
Okay, so their names are similar, therefore they're friends. The kid's angry about this again, because her name's nothing like Piero's. Street Beat smiles, everyone makes a big deal of this.
Street Beat shows having a
see-
personality for the first time. This is news.
Oh my god.
Seagazer's vision is, oh, you know, and also a horrifying sea monster trying to kill her.
A dolphin.
Yeah. See
Well,
that?
boss
See,
first stage
for
was
that
the
one,
boss.
I could easily understand if someone interpreted it as being a dolphin. Wait.
They have
wait.
yet to mention anything about dolphins in this story. Eh?
Hold on. Wait.
What
I'm about to make sense out of this fucking game's level design.
Big if true.
Impossible.
I know. That's
a
what I
thing
thought.
you can do.
If I can find a... See, at first I thought this was a similar looking pit that someone showed off in a review where they just were soft locked. Because it was this pit. It was this pit. There was a key, and then there's no costume in this particular pit. and unless you have the spider, you can't get out. And they got caught in it as the cutter guy, and they couldn't leave. And then, but I'm trying to find the cutter guy because there's a thing. There's a chance that maybe I could cut the spider webs with the thing instead of getting caught in it. And I was like, oh, that would be nice. Then also it would require me to, do a balance bout after that. So.
Oh no! 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 No!
It could be. It's a punishment after all, I think.
Have you still won any of those?
Punishment time.
I've gotten a handful of them, but none of them on stream, and that's the reason I was so determined earlier.
I mean, even if you do get the balance bout in there, how do you? You still can't leave, right?
If I didn't have
look like there's another exit.
Yeah, because the thing is at the bottom of this particular pit is a spider costume.
Oh, that's the other pit. Okay.
The pit on the other side of here, like this
There's
one.
still
What if you don't have a key?
Then you'd probably still be fucked.
Well, the Tims will probably bring you a key eventually.
Oh,
That's
well, yeah, because
fine.
the key's nearby enough that I could see that happening, but that doesn't mean that it was intentional. That's just a fucking fluke. Yo, give me one. Give me one of you. Give me one of you.
Game design.
What determines when you can absorb their beings and such? Because that's happened like twice, but
I
with no
still can't
regularity.
tell.
Okay, so there's 4 people left that they have to meet.
Are we like halfway through the book?
We are on 68 of 237, 22% of the way through.
Oh my god.
Did you have a calculator pulled up, or was that just mental math?
No, Kindle has a percentage at the bottom
okay.
of the page.
I was about to say,
Shows
like,
you
what kind of savant am I talking
Almost
to?
a quarter of the way through.
Yeah, and the plot hasn't even started yet. Well,
It started, it just isn't going anywhere.
well, so much for that idea.
I think I might have another one. It's still not a good idea, and it's still not a very clear objective, but, I'm trying to make my own fun at this stage. It's not coming easy, but,
Seagazer must have
There's a
created the
fucking
ocean on her
statue
stage
right
because she
right
liked it.
goddamn here.
Incredible.
I don't need them for anything other than that, but just fucking, I might as well try.
Streetbeat thought it was strange that she never even went into the water. So how many people are left? 4, although one of them we only think is there since we've never actually met, said Pensive Piero. Also, you might want to brace yourself a bit before we go to the next stage. This master can be a bit, well, much for someone like you. Why's that? Oh, you'll see when you meet her, said the clown with a short laugh. Clock Tower Kid took her mirror out of her
Tim's
pocket
not
and
now,
started
I'm
fussing with her
trapped!
hair.
Tim's, please! I'm trapped! Stop bouncing on the trampoline and help me!
I look away for 1 minute.
Ah, thank fuck!
Oh my god.
Look at the statue.
Imprisoned in Tim jail.
Oops. Is she someone who cares a lot about
Naughty
appearances?
boys get put in the shroom jail.
That was true, and they might have a tough time getting along. But Pensive Piero continued snickering. Streetbeat was still wondering what kind of person he was about to meet when the clown knocked on the front door. Checking back on the previous page, and there is no mention of any house approaching at any point. They're just suddenly at a door. Madam of the Mansion.
Oh, I
A
think
man-
this is the fucking painter.
A
Terrifying
man
painter
dressed in a
lady.
butler's uniform opened the door. Welcome, he began, but was quickly pushed aside by a plump woman. Madam of the Mansion. Darlings! Absolutely marvelous to have you on my stage! She beamed as bright as her clothing, ushering them all inside. You must be Street Beat! Somehow he had ended up front and center. He tried to take a step back behind the others. Yeah, nice to meet you. Lovely to see you, all of you. It's always such a pleasure. My, I can't recall the last time I hosted such a large soiree. We shall need tea and nibbles, of course, both of which I have an ample supply, and then we can simply chat the day away. She spoke so quickly as she guided them through the mansion that Streetbeat could barely tell where one sentence ended and the other began. The butler bowed and strode off in another direction, most likely to fetch them drinks and snacks. Or nibbles, I guess. Madam of the Mansion kept her arm around Streetbeat's shoulders as she led them through her home. It was hard to tell if she was always this friendly, or if she was just especially keen on new acquaintances. Her house was everything he could have expected from her name. All sorts of furnishings crowded the rooms. The console tables were decorated in beautiful vases and elaborate handicrafts. Exquisite tapestries hung on the walls, and finely detailed carpets ran the length of the floors. Curtains bearing colorful floral designs framed the windows. The obvious high quality of everything on display impressed Streetbeat, even if none of it was exactly to his taste. Gotta have that in there somewhere.
Never happened with anything.
I fucking got one, boys.
You got one?
Oh.
Holy shit!
And we weren't paying attention all of to the book.
Honestly, I don't blame you. That's the only way I would have been able to get it.
We'll start with some tea and cookies before the main meal. Then we'll be able to chat as long as we like. Sit, darling, sit, said Balan of the Mansion.
This
clapping
is
her
not
hands at
an
them as if to
option.
push
This is
them
a
down onto the
demand.
stool.
You will sit.
She, on the other hand, could not seem to sit still. Her movements were expansive, her stream of chatter endless. Now
Movements
Streetbeat understood
were
why Pensive Piero had
expansive.
suggested he brace himself. All of a sudden, Madam of the Mansion got a vision. Let's see. Oh, this isn't the...
Oh, you're okay. That's what I thought. This was
Okay,
gonna be.
sure. All of a sudden, Madam of the Mansion froze. Shh! She pressed a finger to her lips, pointing to a corner of the room. Can you see them? The three of them turned to see what she was pointing at. Streetbeat stared and squinted, but couldn't see anything. Yet he could sense the presence of something. They're gone. Madam of the Mansion let out a shaky sigh of relief. They're gonna use her full name every time, aren't they?
They just
Oh my God.
call you madam?
Clock Tower Kid
Ma'am.
clutched Pensive Piero's sleeve. I didn't see anything, but I could tell something was there. What did you see, Madam of the Mansion? I'm not entirely certain myself, darling. Some sort of fuzzy creatures. Not negative. These creatures are all sorts of different colors.
Oh
They've
God,
started
the
appearing
Tims.
every now and then on my stage, and some of them were on Checkered Kings the last time I checked too. There, Tim's.
Yay, Tim. The only good
But-
part.
But I only got a brief glimpse of them, so I thought I was just seeing things and didn't mention it to him last time. Something is happening to Wonderworld. Streetbeat and the others brought Madam of the Mansion up to speed. They saw the vision of Spider and the Grinning Man. Also, a wall in her vision.
Oh, her
Pitch
fucking
black.
right artist block.
It was pitch black and coming right at me like it meant to squish me flat. Something's definitely happening to Wonderworld. Go talk to Checker King. Oh, she's coming too. Okay.
Probably because they are like companions or something. I don't fucking know.
Checkered King. Checkered King's stage was a town straight out of the Middle Ages. Streetbeat couldn't tell if the passersby were artisans or merchants, but all of them were dressed in medieval garb. There were lots of kids playing too. Judging by the smiles on everyone's faces, Streetbeat surmised Checkered King must be a fantastic ruler. Streetbeat, Madam of the Mansion, and the others made for the king's castle. At the gate, they were met by an armored guard. Hail, Master's Clock Tower Kid, Pensive Piero, Madam of the Mansion, and who might this be? Pensive Piero turned over to Street Beat to explain. The people we create on our stages aren't capable of knowing our names, so you'll have to introduce yourself. Oh, he said, I'm Street Beat, I guess. Be most welcome, Master Street Beat. Be most welcome, one and all. You may enter.
Be most welcome, Master Street Beat. Be most welcome indeed.
The guards stood at attention and gestured for the four of them to head inside the gate. Considering he was a king and all, Street Beat expected him to be in a crown and royal robes, but a middle-aged man that came out to greet them wore a simple coat and tie. The woman accompanying him was in a beautiful dress and sparkling tiara. Checkered King caught the hand of Street Beat's shoulder. Hello, hello, and welcome to my kingdom, Street Beat. Allow me to introduce my queen. The queen extended her hand, palm down. Clock Tower Kid nudged an elbow into Street Beat's side. You're supposed to kiss the royal hand. He did as he was told, taking the queen's hand lightly in his and pressing his lips to the top. Her hand was see-through. He should have guessed the queen was also of Checkered King's creation. You've come at the perfect time. The jousting tournament is about to begin. King Checkerboard led them to the balcony. The grounds below were crowded with soldiers. Trumpets blared. Knights on horseback came trotting into view, some in white armor on white mounts, and others in black armor on black mounts. A priest prayed for heavenly blessings and the safety of the jousters. Who will be our champion? Said Checkered King in excited tones from beside his queen. With a flick of the king's hand, the knights charged. Black and white clashed. Spears clattered against shields.
If you could pause for a second, Mush. Fridge, do you mean the game's audio or my audio? Ahead of the video, because I can fix one of those. Or I can fix both of them, hopefully, but... Okay, so it's slightly ahead of the video? Okay, this might help. Hopefully this changes something. But yeah, okay, you can continue.
Okay. Black and white clash, spears clattered against shields. The sides were evenly matched. No apparent victor emerged. They're here! Cried Madam of the Mansion, pointing. As one, they all turned to follow her finger. This time, Street Beat saw them. Fuzzy, round somethings, leaping about atop the castle wall. At Madam of the Mansion's crew.
I can't believe that these are characters in which they are intimidated by the Tims.
Tims.
They're so round.
They are
Look
the
at
least
them.
threatening thing ever.
Look at these things!
I guess they're moving that fast to be a little bit scary.
I guess if you like can't see them and they're just like a weird colorful blob out of the corner of your eye, that'd kind of freak you out.
At Madam of the Mansion's cry, the soldiers began scrambling every which way. The queen clung to Checkered King. Seize them! Commanded Checkered King. All
Grab
the
those
knights,
round fuckers!
Black and white alike reared their horses up the stone steps. They closed in on the fuzzy creatures from all sides, but at the very last instant, the colorful furballs vanish. What in the world were those things? I've seen them before, said Madam of the Mansion to the consternated king. Lately they've been pestering me on my stage. That is why we're here, said Pensive Piero, and launched into an explanation.
When what part of this novel hasn't been an explanation of something?
Oh gosh.
Also, let me know if that's slightly better. I think I delayed it sufficiently.
It would be so fucking funny if the Tims were antagonists in this.
Let's see.
Tim, just steal everyone's blood and bones.
My favorite
Visions of
color
Grinning
is
Man.
blood,
Yeah.
Tim, probably.
Visions of a grinning man and a girl and a golden chalice. It may be the very chalice mentioned in the ancient legends. I ordered my kings to scour the realm, though hitherto none have found it.
The Holy Grail.
Oh, the Fate Stay Night prequel's really weird.
But I am concerned by Lance's warning. The king fell deep into thought.
It's
The tournament
it's no
had
problem,
started up
Fridge.
again.
That's actually good to know. If I don't have Parsec running, that I need to keep it at the default thing. I've just been messing around with the delay on the audio end, and I can easily set it to one or the other. It's just gotta know
Maybe you
whether
need
it's ahead
the
or behind.
Maybe you need the red version of this costume.
That's what I was thinking as well. Fuck. Well, gonna have to go get it anyway.
The tournament had started up again. Clock Tower Kid watched the knights enraptured, but Checkered King stood with his arms folded across his chest and his eyes shut tight. The queen watched him with a worried look on her face. After a while, the king opened his eyes. I've never given it much thought until now, but I've realized I know next to nothing about Wonderworld. What do you mean? Asked Streetbeat. The king sighed. Everyone is master of their own stage, each fashioning it in whatever way they like. All our stages are different, but they share two things in common. The drops and the negative that appear to take them. Oh, and every so often Lance comes to show us how to improve our stage. Never have I wondered what the drops or the negative are. Neither have I, now that you mention it, said pensive Piero, nodding. And our names. Streetbeat, you said you never even knew you had a name until you met Clock Tower Kid, isn't that right? Likewise for me. The first time I realized I needed a name was when I met Clock Tower Kid, when she brought Madam of the Mansion to visit. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to communicate. What do you mean? Asked Clock Tower Kid. Madam of the Mansion looked at Checkered King with unease pinching her face. Wonderworld is the name of this place, right? And we need names in order to distinguish one thing from another. So if this world has a name, it must be to distinguish it from another world. And...
Okay, that's a stretch.
Hmm.
And? Prompted Streetbeat. The king shook his head. No, I'm spinning yarn from air. It's an outlandish theory. Forget I said anything. The way he was talking made Streetbeat want to ask more questions, but he kept silent as Checkered King fell back to thinking. Well, we'd better be on our way. Checkered King made to move after them, but the queen took hold of his sleeve. She shook her head, her eyes sorrowful pools. You're right, my dear. My kingdom needs me here.
Alright,
I'm sorry, my friends, but I cannot go with you.
Alright, I'm gonna take a second to request that, just because how Fridge was describing stuff, I'm concerned now, because I want to know if Discord so tonight we're using Discord screen share instead of Parsec to share, because I had an idea that Parsec is what causes my game audio to become slightly delayed from the game feed, so I want to try and see if what I have is fixing it, because it bugged me a lot looking back at the VODs, so I just wanted to, like, I know it's not a huge problem, but it is something that I wanted to try to fix. So if there's any, like, I guess, comparison to be made, just say the word and say if it's a little bit ahead or a little bit behind, and if it's the game audio or my audio, because I want to try resolving this shit once and for all, because it's been something I've been dealing with for quite a while.
I'm sorry, my friends, but I cannot go with you. I'm concerned about my mansion as well. I wish I could go with you, but I must return home, said Madam of the Mansion, her gaze cast downward
The contrast in
apologetically.
this level is disgusting.
Invisible Custodian.
What a name.
Whoa!
An
Streetbeat
apt
gazed around
name,
the
but
stage,
still.
which belonged to a man called Invisible Custodian. They stood amidst ancient ruins. Before them stood a giant temple, solemn and silent, blanketed in moss and vines. Blossomed between its cracked stones, birds flitted about its crumbling archways. Clock Tower Kid started walking toward the temple. This stage is just like yours, Streetbeat. All quiet and pretty. This doesn't look anything like mine. Clock Tower Kid clapped a hand to her mouth. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why I said that. Her cheeks reddened in embarrassment, and she sped up away from Streetbeat. He took the chance to look around again. Nothing but negative picking up drops like always. There were no signs of those fuzzy creatures from before. They came across an older gentleman inside the temple. With a name like Invisible Custodian, Street Beat had envisioned him wearing a work uniform or something, but he was dressed in a fancy suit. He had a polished cane in one hand, and used the other to doff his dapper hat. Hello, Clock Tower Kid, Pensive Piero. How long has it been? And a pleasure to meet you, Street Beat. Invisible Custodian gave him a gentle smile. Nice to meet you too, Invisible Custodian. How come you aren't, invisible? The man laughed. I've no idea why I have the name I have. The Custodian bit is spot on, at least. I make sure to keep these ruins spick and span. Street Beat wondered how dirty the ruins could really get with no one living in them, but he kept the thought to himself. Something told him it would have been rude to say. There's something important we came to talk to you about. Visions. Fuzzy creatures. Yeah, I saw fuzzy creatures. He jerked his chin toward the other side of the path, where they saw partially see-through fuzzy somethings. They're getting more and more visible. Clock Tower Kid's hand trembled ever so slightly. Something is happening to Wonderworld. Something big. I don't like the sound of that. Invisible Custodian's brow furrowed. I'm happy with my stage the way it is. Nice and quiet. I'm not keen on that changing. Pensive Piero folded his arms over his chest. I think we need to gather everyone together. He said, we need to talk about this. All of this.
You couldn't have done that from the start!
Yeah, it's been 2 hours. Exactly a quarter of the book. And we're just... Oh, man. Okay, so... They part ways. Invisible Man goes back home. Hello, you three! Still at it, I see. Street Beat whirled and saw Lance, who had appeared out of the blue, like always. What are you doing here? To watch in silence I can no longer bear. Please, heed this wisdom I will share. A frown marred his beautiful face. I warned you once, now let me say it twice. If you keep down this path, you will pay a terrible price. We can't just ignore these visions or those fuzzy things. Lance heaved a sigh at Street Beat's protest. I wish I could make you see how much you all mean to me. Your suffering I'd do anything to prevent, so I beg you, for my sake, relent. What aren't you telling us? Lance shook his head sadly at Pensive Piero. It is best you put that question to rest. They're really stretching for these rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
Street Beat took a step forward. Are you saying we aren't allowed to look for that stage? My permission you do not need. Remember, I do not issue commands for you to heed. I am only concerned your faith in Wonderworld has started to wane. As its maestro, this brings me immeasurable pain. I trust you, Lance, said Clock Tower Kid, fixing him with earnest eyes.
But,
You mean a lot to me, too. Oh, my dear. That means so much to hear. His eyes closed as if in relief. Lance, pressed Pensive Piero, we just want to know the truth. Lance combed a hand through his long hair and let out another sigh. Then carry on, if that's the case. The consequences you must face. But not alone, for this I swear. When you need my help, I will be there. At that, Lance turned on his heel and vanished. The exact same phrasing for like the 4th time. Pensive Piero's gaze lingered on where Lance had been. Should we really keep going? He said, folding his arms. I know I told Invisible Custodian we'd search for the last stage, but no one's ever figured out how to get there before. I don't know what makes me think we'll find the way now. Clock Tower Kid pointed at something. Past where Lance had disappeared stood a figure. It's Fighter! She's actually here, in Wonderworld! Fighter, staring at Street Beat, raised her right hand and pointed at something. The three of them glanced at one another, then took off running toward her. But just when they were about to reach her, she vanished.
I cannot believe that they acknowledged that. Cannot fucking believe they acknowledged that.
Where'd she go? Over there! When they looked where Fighter had been pointing, they saw her standing there. This time, she lifted her left hand, pointing somewhere else. Streetbeat ran after her as fast as he could. Again, right when he reached out to grab her, she disappeared.
Mush, I'm beginning to realize how it felt to be on the receiving end of the fucking when I was reading the horrible, awful garbage writing of my fiction teacher. Lance reached out his hand tremulously.
Fuck, I was drinking! I think she's showing us the way, said pensive Piero, gasping as he caught. The way to what? The last stage. It has to be. She must know we're trying to get there. What if it's a trap, said Clock Tower Kid, her eyes shining with anxiety as they looked at the clown. We won't find out either way if we don't follow her. 3 of them approached Fighter slowly. Oh, screw you, Fridge. The closer they got, the more of her features they could make out. Her outfit looks kind of like Streetbeat's. Does it? Again, Fighter pointed. Again, they followed. Again, they disappeared.
Again. A
dozen or so times they repeated this, until they came to the very edge of Invisible Custodian Stage, and everything went white. Lady of the Midnight Sun. Where are we? The stage changed before any of them even realized. They stood somewhere higher up a mountain. Below, they could see nestled a small village. From the forest of conifers surrounding the village, Streetbeat judged they must be very high up. This time, Fighter did not point. She only stood with her back to them, gaze intent on the village below. Streetbeat ran toward her. This time, she did not disappear. He seized her shoulder. Are you real? I'm as real as it gets. I've been trying to figure out a way to this stage for a long time too. To meet the one everyone sensed but never met. The last person you've been searching for. It hasn't been easy. Lady of the Midnight Sun has closed herself off so much, it was nearly impossible to get here. Even Clock Tower Kid couldn't manage it, and she's normally pretty adept at that sort of thing. Why did you help us? Fighter smiled. Getting you here is part of my job. What job? The one Balan gave me. One of his tests. Who's
What page
Balan?
are we on?
This is page 81.
Out of
237. 28% of the way through.
We are over a quarter of the way through the book, and the first time that one of the main characters' names have been mentioned is... Whatever.
Who's Balan? The guy in the top hat. You've seen him, right? Anyway, she said, and started walking off. I'd stick around, but I've got something else to take care of. Where are you going? But she vanished without answering. What's her deal? Said Clock Tower Kid, staring at the place Fighter had disappeared. Who knows? But at least we're here. This is the last stage, right? The one you've been trying to find for forever? Let's go meet its master. Lady of the Midnight Sun, I think Fighter called her. At pensive Piero's suggestion, 3 of them made their way down to the village. Another town just like yours, Streetbeat, murmured Clock Tower Kid. He pretended not to hear. He already knew she wouldn't be able to tell him what's made his stage and this one so alike, even if he asked. The sun beamed bright in the sky. Streetbeat figured if this stage belonged to someone called Lady of the Midnight Sun, that must mean it never sank below the horizon. By the side of the path bloomed a summer cornucopia of flowers. He figured they must love the endless sunlight. They came to a small park in the village center. On one of the benches sat a woman with long blue hair. She turned slowly toward them as they approached her. I don't recall inviting guests. The faint smile on her face was belied by the coldness in her tone. Streetbeat had never seen anyone as beautiful as her. You're Lady of the Midnight Sun, aren't you? Indeed. I don't care to deduce your names, she replied curtly. Streetbeat floundered. Oh, I'm Clock Tower Kid, and that's Pensive Piero and Streetbeat. Lady of the Midnight Sun's expression turned cross. You aren't going to leave my stage unless I tell you in no uncertain terms, are you? We came because we had to. Pensive Piero stood directly in front of Lady of the Midnight Sun. Something is happening to our stages, yours included. Something bad. Bad enough that I believe all of Wonderworld may be in grave danger. Grave danger? She let out barely a laugh. My stage is unchanged. Nothing has happened here. Are you sure? Streetbeat took a step forward. Have you had visions of a grinning man in a top hat? Or a girl called Fighter? Her expression darkened. So what if I have? All of the stage masters in Wonderworld have seen the same vision. We're trying to find out what it means, even though Lance keeps telling us to stay out of it. He did? Yeah, but that's exactly what has us all so worried. That the Wonderworld we know and love might be destroyed. Pensive Piero pointed a finger to the park's edge, where the fuzzy creatures wriggled and squirmed. I know you can see those things too. How can you look at them and still pretend nothing is wrong? At the Tims. The
These
Tims.
things. The true face of terror, evil, and unrest. Good God.
Lady of the Midnight Sun sat on her bench for a long while, unmoving, her eyes closed in thought. I bet they're all over our stages by now, Pensive. I'm scared to go back, said Clock Tower Kid. The hands clasped at her chest trembled. Pensive Piero lay a hand over hers to still them. When you're ready to go home, I'll go with you. Watching them, Lady of the Midnight Sun sniffed. I'd be devastated if anything happened to my stage, she said. Very well, I will hear you out. Everyone's gathering on Clock Tower Kid's stage. Come on. How exactly? Just follow me, said Clock Tower Kid, and set off walking. Streetbeat and Pensive Piero followed right away, but Lady of the Midnight Sun stayed seated where she was on the bench. After a few moments, she drew herself to her feet and strode after them. TIM stands for Terrifying Infernal Monsters.
Correct.
Boy. By the time they returned to Clock Tower Kid's stage, everyone else was already there. Page 84, the cast is finally gathered.
Good fucking
After-
Lord.
After exchanging perfunctory greetings, they dove into the matter at hand. What are those little fur balls? You could barely see them even if you squinted before, and now they're getting clearer by the second. Sentinel
Oh
let out a
no,
frustrated sound.
color.
My mansion is absolutely infested with the dratted things. They jump around as if they own the place. And now they're so distinct, I even know what they're called, said Madam of the Mansion in a tizzy. Tims!
It's just a fucking picture of the boot.
And I've had another vision of the grinning man in the top hat and Fighter, said Watcher. At that, Bugsy shuddered. Who are they, really? Murmured Skygazer, adjusting his glasses. Everyone was talking all at once, their fears and worries blending together into anxious white noise. Checkered King held up a hand to quiet the crowd. I wonder if you might lend me your ears for a moment. You rustled up an idea, Your Majesty? Said Scarecrow, looking out from under his straw hat at the king. I believe I have. You see, when Streetbeat, Pensive Piero, Clock Tower Kid, and Madam of the Mansion came to my stage, it struck me. If Wonderworld has a name, it must be so we can differentiate it from another world. I know it sounds ridiculous, but what if... Like before, Checkered King hesitated. What if it were true? What if it were true? Then what you would... Give me a moment. My tongue is getting tied. What if it were true? Then what would you do? Everyone turned at the sound of Lance's voice. There he stood, like he had been there the whole time, his arms crossed and a grim look on his face.
The fuck did I tell you about investigating?
There is indeed another world out there, as our dear monarch surmised. The one you all came from, and the one you despised. It hurt you enough to cause you to flee, and now you are here, happy and free. Checkered King let out a long breath. So, this is not our original home. Of course. It never occurred to me before, but now I realize I have no memories of my childhood. I have looked like this since the very moment I first set foot into Wonderworld. Shock rippled through the gathered crowd. That can't be true, said Sea Gazer, her voice wavering. I can't believe I'm from anywhere but here. Uneasy glances flitted from person to person as the realization sank in. None of them had a past. They had been here for an untold amount of time, doing the same things, living the same day. It never would have occurred to me to wonder about that until you mentioned it, Invisible Custodian sighed. But what about that grinning man in the top hat? And Fighter? And the furballs? Lady of the Midnight Sun was the only one who kept her cool. She fixed Lance with a level stare. Balan is the name of the hatted man, and to expel you from Wonderworld is his devious plan. To that end he sent Fighter, his obedient sidekick, to dismantle each of your stages to the very last brick. As for the furballs, the creatures called Tim, well, they also owe their allegiance to him. They are everything my dear Negati are not. Polar opposites, in fact, like cold is to hot.
Jesus. Good fucking lord. The rhymes are getting worse. That's saying something.
But why does this Balan guy want to make us leave Wonderworld? Asked Clock Tower Kid, staring up at Lance with eyes full of fear. He wants to be Wonderworld's maestro, to have total control. To him, you're outsider. You're nothing but outsiders in the way of that goal. But you're Wonderworld's maestro. Indeed, little one, I am. It puts me in a little bit of a jam. Then just get rid of him, Lance! Lance gave a sad shake of his head. I would if I could, but destroying him is beyond me. Your stages are the ones in danger, so only you have that ability. You mean we have to fight him? Bugsy whispered, her face falling. All I can do is teach you to fight, and give you the strength to make things right. But are you willing to take a stand? To defend your stages with your own hand? Yes! Shouted Sentinel. Like his cry had broken a dam, everyone from Invisible Custodian to Gentle Watcher took to their feet, rallying around Lance. Even Clock Tower Kid, who was shaking, gazed in a determination at the silver-haired man. I want to protect my stage, and Pensive, and everyone's.
God damn it. Fuck. There.
What are you doing?
Did that go through?
Oh, determination.
Yeah. Let it up.
Boy.
Do I have that? Do I not have that bound to a
I
fucking
missed
key?
plot. I wasn't expecting to miss plot when I went
There,
to
I
get
got-
the map.
Yeah, 30% of the way through the book, and everyone's finally here, and Lance is giving everyone the rundown. You're not
Lance is-
originally from this world, and
Yeah.
Balan is here to destroy all your hopes
Yeah,
and dreams. He's evil.
Lance is
That's
Lance
so
is gaslighting the
fucked up.
protagonists.
Yep. And an actually correct use of the term.
Mm-hmm.
If on this path you have truly decided, then out from within your strength must be guided. Your memories from before I had locked away, in hopes of keeping your suffering at bay. But I must now unleash all the hurt in your heart, for the sake of the power that it will impart. This power will change you from the you that you know, but you must use it to transform your stages and ensnare our foe. Are you sure we can do that? Asked Bugsy, her face scrunched up in worry. I don't doubt it for a second, little one. See? For proof of this ultimate power, just look at me. He began to warp and change before their very eyes. His pale clothing began to darken, his silver hair deepening to the darkest black. Strange markings appeared all over his body that looked just like the patterns on the Negati, except they were far more intricate and eerily beautiful. From his back unfurled wriggling tentacles. This is my true form. Behold. Now do you trust what you've been told? The shock of
I
his
would
bizarre
trust him less
transformation.
at that point.
The shock of his bizarre transformation made everyone take a step back. Sorrow flitted over Lance's face. Oh, my friends, have no fear. Changed I may be, but I still hold you dear. This I swear, on the mark that I bear. He touched a hand to his chest, to the glyph that was the most disquieting of them all. Chapter 2.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Ah.
Chapter 2, Transformation.
Ah.
Good fucking lord. Are you enjoying yourself, Mush? Because you sound like you are.
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of maybe. That was one goddamn.
That was one chapter. Now I understand why the numbers at the beginning, the weird clock, those are the page. It's the page number where the chapter starts.
Yep. See, I figured that, but it looked like it was too few chapters to
know.
fit the plot of the game.
Well, we're 32% of the way in, and we're just getting to the part that kind of matches up with the plot, sort of, maybe? Ugh. Clock Tower Kid. With a mournful look, Lance stepped closer to pensive Piero. Remembering will cause you so much pain. Do or you want to throw your happiness down the drain? Pensive Piero nodded. Lance touched a finger to the clown's forehead. On his skin appeared the same mark Lance bore on his chest. It is over, said and done. From your memories, you no longer can run. Pensive Piero closed his eyes. A few moments later, they fluttered open, and he started muttering. I
Good.
remember.
Good. Oh my god.
Oh my god, another vacuum cleaner?
Uh-huh.
What makes this different, though?
I
Anything
cannot
at
tell.
all?
Hold X to vacuum up
Red.
faraway items and enemies. Press X again to shoot out anything that's been sucked up.
It's
I don't-
literally
I-
just the same thing, but red.
Lethal vacuum.
Like,
God fucking damn it. I don't know why I expected anything different.
do we want to keep going with the book? I think I might need to take a break myself. Just,
Let's take a look.
It's 11 o'clock.
oh, yeah, it is.
Where did the fucking time go?
Oh god, I can't wait for the second bonus Balan stream.
I don't... Okay. We're halfway through the extra stages. I'm not exactly in the mood to come back to this again. That's my phone telling me that we're through with this bullshit. But I'm gonna wrap up this stage and then maybe decide if we want to wrap it up for the night. I could definitely finish the remaining stages within an hour if we just want to call it there. And fucking bury this game. Because I'm ready to be done with this. I don't want to do another stream of this, but I would. But I don't. I also,
I'm not so sure about this book either.
it's not good. A bad
It's
book
not
is
good.
so much harder to sit through than anything else. Also, I technically didn't finish this stage, but I reached the end of it and then kept
Just
going,
been,
so
like,
it's whatever.
pared down some.
It really wouldn't be that bad if it had just been fucking trimmed.
Like,
Oh,
half of
boy.
the book is repeating what we've already heard 5 times before.
Yeah. Literally over 28% of the total pages through is when we first hear the name Balan.
Mhm.
Alright. I'm gonna set up my Tims to feed, and I'm gonna go use the bathroom, and then we're just gonna shotgun through the last of the stages.
Okay. I'm gonna close down my stream then, because
Okay.
I'm done reading for now. My throat's getting kinda.
Yeah.
I can read from now on if you want.
If you want, what you could do is, Quark can read ahead and basically just point out anytime something weird or goofy happens. I don't know if you guys want to figure out how you'd split that
I
up.
don't know.
Yeah, I don't mind just reading. I have his stream up.
Okay. All right, then you can take over for me if you like.
Sure,
Alright.
why not? Let's
I'm gonna mute
fucking
myself
go.
and go to the bathroom real quick, but my stream
Okay,
will
I'll
still be up
regale you
and the
with
audio will still be...
Incredible light novel. Hope you enjoy, chat. Clock Tower Kid. With a mournful look, Lance stepped closer to pensive Piero. Remembering will cause you so much pain. Are you sure you want to throw your happiness down the drain? Pensive Piero nodded. Lance touched a finger to the clown's forehead. Fuck. On his skin appeared the same mark Lance bore on his chest. It is over, said and done. From your memories you can no longer run. Pensive Piero closed his eyes. A few moments later they fluttered open and he started muttering. I remember who I was, the life I led. I worked at a theme park as a clown, making people laugh. That's a big, bold claim to have from a clown. They had a parade there and she was the star, the princess. Her hair was silver, her song sweet. The guests loved her and so did the rest of the staff. She was always so kind to us, always so supportive. I fell in love. That's wonderful. Good for you. Too bad you're a clown though. But she was the star and I was just a common clown. I was joking.
Just a common clown.
Just a
Your
common
regular
clown.
old everyday clown.
Common rarity clown. Our worlds couldn't have been. There were different social classes, like in the 1700s or something. She was the princess of this circus, and I was just the common peasant. Okay. Sometimes her eyes would turn my way, but my face was always hidden behind the clown mask.
Hey.
Well, I dreamed often of telling her how I felt. I never did. I started to hate myself for being such a coward. And then one day, after changing into my clown costume and heading into the park, I was astonished to discover a theater in the middle of the central square. None of the other employees seemed to even notice it. They just walked right on by. The doors opened and I felt this strange pull, like something was drawing me inside. Oh, here's this sentence right here. I felt this strange pull is going to be the thing that gets repeated for every character that goes through their little trauma thing.
Oh no. It had
Just
better not be.
Placing bets. One moment I was in the park, the next I was in Wonderworld. Now I
This
understand
book has
why
given
my
me no confidence that it's not gonna just keep saying the same thing over and over.
Now I understand why my stage is an amusement park and what is missing from it. The march still plays, but the princess's parade, they aren't there. Pensive Piero squeezed his eyes shut again. The muscles, I thought this said musician for some reason. The muscles in his jaw tightening. But maybe it's better this way, he murmured. She'll never feel the same way about me because I'm a fucking clown. At least here I won't have my heart shredded to confetti every time I see her. Fuck. Trembling, Clock Tower Kid reached out and gripped Pensive Piero's hand. Forget about that, princess. You and me can stay in Wonderworld together forever and ever. She let go of him and strode up to Lance. I want to remember too. Lance extended a finger. The moment he touched her, Clock Tower Kid started trembling like a leaf. His mark appeared on her brow. I remember. I was walking by the clock tower when I saw the kitten on the other side of the street. Kitty. It liked me. It always let me pet it. I wasn't thinking. I said, "Here, kitty, kitty." And it heard me and started crossing the road. But then there was an accident in front of the clock tower. Not
The
clock tower.
what?
I accidentally accidentally said clock tower. I'm sorry. The car crashed. Kitty, I couldn't move. The car was on top of a... There was so much smoke. The cars were on their side. I didn't see the kitten anywhere. I was too scared to look. I didn't want to see. It's my fault. All my fault. If I hadn't called. So I reached the clock tower. Thanks. I'm glad everyone appreciated that. I ran as fast as I could away from the clock tower, and I never looked back. She opened her eyes. Fat tears streamed down her streaked down her cheeks. That kitten probably died because of me, and I just ran. I was so scared. Clock tower kid sank into a crouch, hugging her knees tight to her chest. But I got to forget all about it when I came here. I got to meet Pensive and make so many other friends. Even though I'm so awful, Wonderworld means everything to me. I can't let anything happen to it, and I never want to leave. I want to stay here with Pensive and everyone forever. Just fucking call him Piero, please. When she lifted her gaze, Street Beat saw dark light shining in her eyes. What's that mean? I won't let anyone destroy our stages.
I would have just... my eyes would have just gone right over that. Okay, but dark light.
Dark light.
It's like deep purple or something. Also, hi, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back. We're having a time. Not a good time, but a time. Two glittering somethings shot out of her. Then, as if the lights had been the trigger, her body began to morph, to transform into a giant cat. And as she changed, so too did her stage begin to warp and bend. Street Beat and the others backed away from the metamorphosis. Lance smiled because he's a bastard. Come now, dear friends, do not distress. Once Balan and his minions are defeated, your memories I will again repress. Back to normal, you will return, your stage is included. Then you can stay forever in Wonderworld, safe and happy, your ordeal's concluded. He looked up at the giant cat that Clock Tower Kid had become. The negative powers are now yours to control. For attacking your stages, you'll make the enemy pay a most terrible toll. The thing that used to be Clock Tower Kid nodded, then loped off into the stage out of sight. Pensive Piero stared after her, slack-jawed. His eyes roved her now unrecognizable stage. I never knew how much he cared about Wonderworld, how much he cherished my stage. I can't let her be the only one to take a stand. I'm going back, and I'll make whatever changes necessary to myself and my stage so I can fight. With that, the clown turned from them and rushed away. We need to face the enemy on all our stages. Sentinel and Watcher turned to each other and nodded. We're guardians. It's our duty to protect our stages, even if that means turning into some horrible creature for a little while. They strode over to Lance.
There's the cat monster.
Poor girl. That's unfortunate. I shall fight too, said Checkered King, lifting his chin. For my queen! Steegazer straightened her shoulders. I'm heading home too. Goodbye, Skygazer. I hope we get to hang out by your stage's ocean again sometime soon. I'll keep it safe for you, Seagazer, but you better protect your stage too. It is one of the prettiest skies I've ever seen. They shared a smile, then turned and laughed. One by one, they let Lance mark their foreheads. One by one, they returned to their stages. Street Beat was no exception.
Welcome back, Clue.
Hey, Clue.
We are justifying all the bosses now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
despite the fact that their transformation seemed like something they couldn't control.
Don't worry about it.
See, okay, okay, my
Just
my
let
big
Balan Wonderworld masterful writing wash over you.
So my big problem with it is just the fact that, no, excuse me, my big problem with it is just that it makes the game make less sense.
Wait, go back to the middle of the hub.
Hold on, yeah, let me do that real quick. So the thing is that the cutscenes all seem to imply that they don't want to be these monsters, and that they don't want, like, it's...
Well, they were manipulated into it, it seems.
Yeah, but, like, I don't know. Alright, what about
Maybe
the...
they're like, yeah, let's go, and then the
Okay.
actual transformation is terrifying. I don't know.
Oh, for crying out loud. I thought I actually noticed a pattern in how the stage numbers were arranged, but no. There's no pattern. Yeah.
Also,
They just rolled a
last
fuck-
time someone pointed
Nice.
out the fucking thing, the island up top,
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
and
I can see a costume up there.
yeah, and that's the Balan costume. It lets you free fly wherever you want. It makes
Yeah,
basically
Yeah, that makes
everything
sense.
fucking trivial.
Yeah, I thought every other stage went up by one, but it just happened to be a couple in a row that fit the pattern, and then the rest just.
Mm.
God, it's
Oh.
infuriating. Pensa
Is that-
Piero's. Oh, sorry.
I think that this part of the book feels like it's like a couple steps removed from being like there's something there, but it's just not getting it. And it's
Mhm.
frustrating.
Yeah. Pensa Piero's
supposed to-
memories.
Sorry. It just. This is supposed to be explaining the events of the game in greater detail, but it's like there's barely
It feels
anything.
like an AU, actually.
Yeah, there's barely anything.
Because the thing is that
connecting
at
it
the
to
beginning of the
plot-
game,
characters.
at the beginning of the game, they clearly show that like Leo and Emma arrive at the same time, and are both on Balan's side. This
Hello,
just seems,
Clarinet Duck.
yeah.
This part is just cut out of the game, I guess.
It just make it
It's
one-sided
the
to show what is.
pre-sequel.
Oh goodness, fucking gracious.
Or maybe this was just drafted in the time between the game was being worked on and before the cutscenes were even created.
Maybe.
Because the cutscenes are the only plot the game has.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Pensa Piero's memories washed over him in excruciating detail as soon as he set foot back on his stage. The name of the theme park where he worked hit him like a punch. Christmas Rose Park. I hate that name.
That's
He was
that's
still
a
reeling
fucking
from-
awful name.
Yeah, it sucks. He was still reeling from that when her title pierced him. Princess Mary.
Together
that's
we can
not
show the
too
world
bad.
what we can do. You are next to me and I'm next to you. Push me on through until the battle's won.
He did not know her real name. The park managers never revealed her true identity to anyone, even her fellow employees, to maintain the illusion of mystery that kept people paying the admission fees. I've never worked in a circus, but I really don't think that's how it, like, goes down usually. It seems weird.
I don't even think that
Um,
it's the circus. I think it's just the
This is Disney.
Sorry,
yeah.
Christmas Rose Park.
Oh yeah, Christmas Disney.
somehow can make it Disney worse.
I didn't think that was possible. Still, even if he had
To
known
make
her
Disney
real
worse, add Catholicism.
And clowns.
name. Wow.
Catholic
Pensa
clown.
Piero could never have told her how he really felt, but right now, all he could think about was Clock Tower Kid. Her transformation had bewildered him at first, but the shock had subsided into profound understanding for the hurt she carried. Poor thing, she suffered so much for such a little kid. I have to protect her state. I have to draw upon the negative power inside me. A dark luminescence shimmered in Pensa Piero's eyes. Inside me. Two lights shot out of his body. Then he and his stage began to change. Excuse me. Street beat.
Are those two
Everyone's
lights gonna
favorite
end
character.
up being like the trees that you have to get to? at the
They
end of the
might
Probably,
be.
yeah.
They might be. Back on his own stage now, Street Beat wondered, what should I do? Seeing Clock Tower Kid transform into a monster right in front of his eyes had really shaken him out. Will I end up like that too? The thought scared him, but he shook his head, declared, "I'm trying to do like a shitty shonen protest voice. I don't know if that's
Doing it
how
I
it goes."
kind of
Oh,
got
sorry.
that. It's really
You're
good.
doing a pretty bad job of it, which means it's a pretty good job.
Exactly. Exactly. It's fucking awesome.
I have to do it. There's no other way.
After all, little clock tower kid was willing to change so drastically to protect Princess Piero's stage. Street Beat couldn't just sit this fight out.
Okay, change.
His decision made, the town around him started to shake, softly at first. The sun slipped down past the horizon. Darkness swallowed his stage. All the traffic lights switched from green or yellow to red, and everything shook harder and harder. Terrifying,
Yeah,
they
stop now.
burned the lights red.
No one will
Apartments and
ever move
shops
again.
twisted. Slow as molasses. The straight roads grew warped and twisted. The town wasn't a town anymore, but a giant maze.
How do
Fighter
they
and the
make?
grinning man
I
would never
just-
be able to navigate through it.
I just want to point out the fact. How do they make rollerblading have such bad-looking
my.
momentum?
Oh my god.
I look like I'm dragging my socks on the floor. It doesn't
You're
look
not
like I'm
even
being
moving
carried
faster than your
anywhere.
normal running speed. What is the
So
purpose?
look, I want to show you exactly the distance that the burst lasts. That lasts for less time than the fucking cheetah.
And you have to jump first.
At least it doesn't
Also-
go off that field.
Also, speaking of jumping, can someone look up a guide on where to find the bonus costumes? Because I want to find them all before end of it, so we never have to do it again. Also, speaking of, this is one of the best costumes ever. Triple jumper.
Ah.
Oh.
Time to snap this game in half even more than we were before.
I wonder what I
Time,
look
time
like
to
You
now.
fall off
grind
a
this
cliff
one
instantly.
costume out for an hour.
Street Beat
Do you
peeked
have
down
any
at
more
his
keys?
hand. Do you have any more what?
Ease.
No, but there was one right behind the door, or behind the thing, so I was waiting for it to respawn so I could grab it again.
Understandable. Anyway, what's Street Beat up to?
The Street Beat's looking at his hands. Huh? They were still human. He turned to face what used to be a department store, staring at his reflection in its window. It was still him.
Why didn't I transform?
On his forehead was the same Limble Sans. Symbol Lance.
Limble Sans!
Limble Lance. By the way, I get tongue twisted really easily. Oh,
I could kind of tell,
What is
but
that?
honestly, it adds to it.
on his forehead was the same symbol Lance had marked Clock Tower Kid with. But otherwise, Street Beat looked the same as he always did. And no matter how hard he tried, he could not remember anything about his life before Wonderworld.
How am I supposed to protect everyone like this? If Clock Tower Kid could transform, why can't I? Is it because I'm scared? Am I really that useless?
At the thought, a dark light glinted, goddamn, in Street Beat's eyes. Leo, no! Street Beat turned around.
I don't know why that
The
really
use of his
got me.
actual name after all this street beating is just.
Street beating.
You good?
No! I'm playing Balan Wonderworld.
Street Beat turned around and saw the girl from his vision. The girl he had met on Lady of the Midnight Sun stage. Spider. Behind her stood the grinning man, top hat and all.
Spider!
So weird.
Just that has
Top hat
the
and all.
that has the same energy as how's that text to speech going, Jay? Spider.
Oh god.
This
Street
is so
Beat could see him
fucking
clearly
good.
now. He had the same sort of aura as Lance had before Lance had transformed. Though the design of his flashy outfit was completely different. They're not that different. The brim of his top hat was pulled so low that Street Beat could see nothing of the man's face except his mouth, stretched wide in its usual grin. Spider rushed over, but Street Beat recoiled from her.
Who are you?
It's me, Leo, it's Emma! Try to remember! We met in the Balan Theater in the lobby. I was trying to decide if I should go in or not. Her words jarred
Oh,
free
okay,
the
never
memories of
mind.
the
This
past.
does actually line up with what happened. But,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
I guess the
Also-
memory fuckery makes
guess
some
Been
sense, but
wandering around in here for months.
yeah.
Also,
Leo.
rest
Oh.
in fucking peace, Street Beat.
God,
no,
what a
Street Beat's
fucking
gone.
name Street
Street
Beat
Beat's
was.
gone. I'm crushed.
That's right. That's my real name. I'm Leo.
He was always dancing in the streets by himself. Everyone
And
in
so
town
everyone
said he
started
was the
calling
best
him Street Beat until he forgot his own name.
Nothing's ever gonna bring him down. All the different dance crews jockeyed to get him to join, but Street Beat, Leo never did. He was too cool for all of those posers. He could beat anyone else.
I can't tell if that was an actual line or not, but I believe it is.
No, it didn't, but
It's it, improv.
need anyone else
Yeah,
to
pretty
dance
much.
he didn't need friends. And as it was with dancing, so it was with school. He was always alone, because he was a huge jackass and refused to try to interact with anyone. And he liked it that way. He didn't care about anyone or anything except getting better at dancing. Even when the Altrando meteor shower had streaked the night sky with shooting stars, this motherfucker
God, the name
didn't give a single
Altrando.
shit. Altrando. He hadn't cared enough to look up. He just kept walking with his eyes on the ground. You lived the most boring life imaginable.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Worse
fucking
than mine.
rip.
Oops.
The next day, the meteor shower was all his family could talk about. He ignored their excited conversation because he's a huge jerk and didn't give a shit about his family members either.
I meant to push oops, but it just went yay instead. There. Proper oops, but also
And slipped out of the house to dance.
oh jeez, that was loud.
Loud.
Why is that so much louder?
I don't know.
He had been on his way to his usual practice spot when he noticed a mysterious new alley and turned down it out of sheer curiosity. You don't need to
We were
remind
there.
me of
We were there. We read this
We were-
part.
the prologue!
Okay, to be fair, most people probably blocked out the entire rest of the book before this.
Yeah, but I could
Then
understand
what-
if it was,
then
like,
what do
some
they remember
out of
then?
context thing where you bring it back into context later, but like that didn't happen. It just told you exactly what fucking happened.
Oh my god.
Where to go?
Oh shit, I got a salmon ramen tomorrow.
Nice. Oh,
Better than this.
where was I?
Uh,
I got mad and started.
you.
That was when he saw a beautiful building he could have sworn he had never been there before. On its facade, which is a word that you can use that way, I learned today, glowed a neon sign that read the Balan Theater. Street Beat Leo knew the town like the back of his hand.
Please just start
Oh my
replacing
God,
Leo's
that-
name with Street Beat.
You,
Found
every instance of his name on this page is hyphenated with Street
Beat
Beat.
Leo.
Street
That's-
Leo!
I can't. I can't believe it. It's so fucking good.
Knew the town like the back of his hand. All its ins and outs, all its secrets, or so he had thought. It was a shock to discover something new. He opened the door to check it out. Inside, he met Emma.
I remember now. You were standing there still as a statue. The two of us explored the theater together, and after that,
Oh, little one, just look at the state of you, said the man in the top.
No, not you too.
Wait,
Oh
what?
god, is he also rhyming?
I mean, Balan always rhymed.
Quirk.
What?
Keep going.
Are you enjoying my bad voice?
Your Balan voice made me lose my shit for a second. I didn't even process that you rhymed until after they pointed it out again.
I just read ahead.
Forgotten yourself and what you must do. What are you talking about? The man in the top hat shook his head sadly. Passing through my theater brought you to this place. It's a gateway, you see, twixt time and space.
Okay, I'll give him that one. That one was actually decent.
One good rhyme and the whole thing. I've
Mhm.
lost
You get
track of
one.
how many millions of times I've introduced myself to the theater's guests. To speak the same words to the same person is something I thoroughly detest. His
Okay,
name's Balan,
Okay.
you're.
explained Emma.
You've said 2 lines and I already hate you.
Yeah, no, like,
Look-
literally,
look
Balan,
this
you
little
know
bit.
that there's memory fuckery going on. Like, fucking explain shit.
Look at this jackass, explained Emma as the man heaved her dramatic sigh. Maestro of all Wonderworld. Street Meat Leo furrowed his brow. I thought Lance was in charge. Most definitely not.
Beat Leo.
Most definitely not. He's only tricked everyone into thinking he calls the shots. Balan threw his hands into the air, like he just don't care.
Oh no, the rhyming is spreading to Quark!
No!
We must. I'm sorry, bro. We have to get rid of you. It's the only way to keep the rest of us safe. You're already contaminated.
You're one to talk about tricking people. I remember now. You said we couldn't leave the Balan Theater unless we passed some sort of test.
Wow,
You
that's
locked us
fucked
in.
up.
Jesus!
Balan's got some problems here. I can see why you think I'm the one you should vilify, said Balan, looking genuinely upset. But you have it all backwards! So please, let me clarify. My theater exists for only one end, to protect people's hearts as long as they've hearts to defend.
How
They
do you
rhyme
protect
vilify
heart?
and clarify.
Yeah, I hate that.
I mean,
Don't
like,
worry
at the
about it.
very least, his vocabulary is, like, different than Lance's in such a way that it's, like, kind of more interesting, sort of. I don't know, like, the rhymes are a little more interesting.
Oh.
They're not great, but there was the one good one.
With great effort and care, and an extra dash of flair. Balan struck a dramatic pose like a leading actor in the spotlight. By the way, I just want to say they write flare like solar flare every
No,
single time they
bad.
use it.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
Incorrect.
See, that's the reason that everyone got Team Flare, like, is saying, like, oh, they have another one that seemed after fire, because no one knew the right... What the
What is going on with... Blue?
Blue.
That's my attack.
Okay. Sure, why not?
Everyone thinks hearts are individual islands, which is to be expected. The
Okay,
thing
hold
about
on a
islands,
second.
though-
I just need to interrupt you because the music
Okay.
on my stream has just gotten to the stage clear song. The boss defeated song.
Oh my god.
The dance party.
Thing about
Okay,
islands,
continue.
though, deeper down, they're all connected. It's what we call Wonderworld, this most happy land. Happy is what you want to call it, huh? What some scholars call the collective consciousness, like in Persona 5. But who knows if any truly understand?
I can't wait until I get to play Persona 5 again.
By train, only through my feet are simple and plain.
Why did the Balan Theater appear to me?
A heart is made of two pieces combined, a positive piece and a negative, balanced and twined. My theater appears when that balance goes haywire, to help people lost within straits most dire. Inside they go and inside they remain, until they pass the test to restore their heart's balance and return whence they came.
That
My
was
heart
so...
That
has
is-
That was the
haywire.
worst one yet. That was like 18 extra syllables. That's cheating. Rhyme isn't just two words that sound the same at the end of different phrases. There needs to be rhythm to it.
Like,
I mean, technically that's not rhyme, that's verse you're talking about.
I guess, yeah. But, like, fucking... it's not good.
oh, God.
Also,
no
this
such
whole
thing as
explanation
good.
of what Balan's doing to people makes him sound almost more the villain than Lance is.
He's a little fucked up, but that's okay.
Let these people,
He's got a
like,
funny
just...
hat, and I like him.
Have you considered maybe therapy instead of this weird heart trapping thing you're doing?
Therapy is expensive. This is what
Heart
you get.
trapping is free. Therapy is expensive, heart trapping is free, are not words
Don't
that I
have
expected to
insurance,
say.
Better go to the Balan Theater. Oh
little one, I say this with great affection. You sorely lack in introspection.
Balan gave Street Beat Leo an exasperated
Still-
stare.
Street Leo.
Street Beat Leo. I like saying it like that. Just Street Beat Leo, like it's one name.
You think you can live life all alone?
Maiden
without
name
any
no
friends to
no.
call your
First
own?
name Leo, maiden name Street, married name Beat.
Who's he married to?
I don't know, fucking Emma or someone. I don't know.
He's married to
And-
Balan.
Sure, we'll go with that
Hate
now.
that.
Balan Beat.
Balan Beat.
It's like
Oh,
Desiree
my.
Oldbag. Desiree
Mispronounced
Oldbag.
Balan Bout as Balan Beat.
Oh my god. It's like Desiree's full name being Desiree Oldbag Delight. Because we during the Ace Attorney streams we determined that that she was
Uh-oh.
or that Oldbag is Desiree's mom.
Oh god. Okay, where was
Lost both of those?
Yeah, because I transformed into one.
Oh my
Deep-
god. Game design.
Game design.
So deep down inside, you fester loneliness like a sore. But just like the others, you craved something more. You thought you could live on your stages without a care, but all the pain inside brought you negative drops to bear. And from those drops, lamps of negative drew power, grew stronger and stronger with each passing hour.
Who is Lance?
The product of all the chaos and war since civilization's birth. That's a
Oh goodness.
fucking backstory
That's
there.
suspension.
3,000 years, give or take, for what dates are worth. All those negative emotions affect Wonderworld too, and gave rise to Lance, the one who's deceived you.
He said he cared about us.
Balan's shoulders lifted and fell. I guess he shrugged.
The same way.
Or I was
That
thinking
was
more.
the wrong.
Same way a farmer cares for his egg-laying hens. It's the drops he loves, but that doesn't make you friends.
What's so special about drops?
The tears people in the real world cry when they're happy or sad or don't even know why. Megati and Tims need them to survive and use their power to help Wonderworld thrive.
Street Beat Leo couldn't make sense of what Balan was saying.
Hey,
He trailed off. His memories were coming back in a steady drift.
I remember. After I met you in the theater, you told me I had to take a test. I had to defeat Lance and make Wonderworld go back to normal.
I
Before
fucked
it-
up.
And I
Anyway, we're not
fucked
doing
up.
the ice world. I ran out of fucking seal things and I don't want to go back for more.
To what it was before all the negativity corrupted it.
Balan let out a sigh of relief.
I was starting to I'd given half a chance. Tell me, do you remember you and Fighter Emma battling? And like,
God, I
Please tell me they stayed hyphenated like that.
Street Beat Leo's jaw dropped.
We did what?
I tried to get you to be patient, to prepare you for the difficult brawl ahead. Like in Super Smash Brothers. But no, you two ran off and fought him anyway. You're lucky you didn't end up dead.
Street Beat Leo could only shake his head.
But if I lost my memories after fighting Lance, then why didn't Emma? Why didn't Fighter Emma?
It's because
Fighter
she's
Emma
not
smiled.
shitty.
She's
She did her
better than you
job.
every way.
Fighter Emma's the fighter, as shown
It's
by
Fighter
her
Emma.
name.
I grew up pretty spoiled back in the real world. People around me bent over backwards to get me what I wanted, but I knew it was only because my parents were mega rich. No one actually cared about me. I stopped trusting people, stopped letting them get close.
Oh
That's why the Balan Theater appeared to me. The first time we met in the lobby, you didn't know the first thing about me, but you saw I was scared, and you said you'd have my back if anything happened. I started to trust you. That's why Lance's power held no sway over me.
I'm immune to brainwashing because I'm a rich asshole.
And also plot
remember
contrivance.
Yeah, basically.
You were so terrified. I was terrified too, but I didn't want to let on because I thought you were cute and wanted to impress you.
Wow.
No,
That is
that
the
ended a few words before the chorus. But I like that better. It's more honest. It's more honest.
Honestly, that would have given a little bit of actual characterization to Leo and would have made me like, okay, he's a dweeb that's trying to impress a girl. Okay. I can understand that. Everything else,
Clearly, I should have
nah.
written this book.
You should have. You would have done it better, honestly, because you would have given it a second pass.
Yeah. Which is why you lost to Lance despite trying your best. Balan bent down to peer to street beat Leo's face. Does that put all your questions to rest?
I still have one. Why didn't I transform like everyone else?
Balan grinned. Remember the walls you built round your heart? Meeting everyone here slowly tore them apart. You may have maintained you were fine on your own, but a desire to protect new friends you've always shown. Start with that promise you made to Fighter Emma when she was afraid. There we go.
Continues to be
Okay.
the worst.
I promise.
In his mind, Street beat Leo, Stock Clock Tower Kid, and all the other people he had met. It's that very positive promise that saved you when Lance's negative power might have enslaved you. It wasn't until he heard it put into words that Street beat Leo began to understand why the others had seen something else in their vision besides Fighter and Balan, and he hadn't. The visions had sown them their deepest, darkest fears. Balan nodded as if he knew what Street beat Leo was thinking. You see, you didn't really want to be friendless or alone, and the lack of something cannot be shown.
Wait, I was actually right? He didn't say it was being lonely?
Yeah.
That was a joke.
Fighter Emma said, Leo, you and me, we're the ones who have to destroy everyone's stages.
Wait, spluttered Street Beat Leo. You mean we have to fight them?
What? No! She gave a vehement shake of her head. We have to save them! We have to break them free of Lance's negative power, and then we have to take him down, all of us together! Street Beat Leo hesitated. He still wasn't sure it was the right thing to do. Leo, said Fighter Emma fiercely. You're cool letting Clock Tower kids stay like that forever? Nat made up his mind.
No, let's save everyone and then kick Lance's butt.
The dark light in his eyes
That is
flooding out.
extremely shonen protagonist sounding.
Yeah.
I've given up trying to distinguish what is and what isn't the actual writing of the book, and have just kind of accepted
no.
Quark's ad libs.
Yeah.
I figured that
Quark's
one
only
was.
made the one ad lib so far.
Oh my god.
Suddenly, a Negity lurking nearby turned and launched itself at Street Beat Leo, but Fighter Emma kicked it off.
It's
Truly
still
a fighter.
hyphenating their names.
Again, I think
love it.
I feel like this is something that would have worked way better in Japanese.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
What the fuck did it attack me for?
What the fuck, man? We were cool.
That's also not an
Send
ad
me
lib, right? That's not
burning
the end of the
against Lance. The drops you see all around Wonderworld are made from people's memories and emotions. The Tims, those fuzzy furball things you were also worried about, they tend towards
What was I
positive ones.
supposed to do?
I missed it. What happened?
Hold forward.
I just killed all momentum by taking a single fucking jump. Like I was at the end of a ramp, and that was... Fuck it. Fuck it. I don't care. The ending was at the end of that. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, the costume's at the end.
What's the costume?
Moonwalker.
I need it.
What?
I need it.
Oh.
I have to go back. It's called
my
Moonwalker.
God,
How can
Clueless
I not?
knows. Clueless is
Look,
now
the
perfect.
train tracks took like 2 seconds.
The guide says you need triple jumper to actually get to it.
It's a
and
good. It's a good thing I already
possibly a
have
key
that.
mouse,
All right.
because
It's
there's
a
not
good
a
thing
key
I have
nearby.
both
I
of
don't know where it
those.
is.
Okay.
I'll just go.
The
I'll
Tims,
just.
those
Yeah.
fuzzy oh, sorry.
No, go on.
Okay. The Tims, those fuzzy furball things you were all so worried about, they tend towards the positive ones. But the negati go for the negative, as you might have gathered from their name. The negati aren't going to be friendly to you anymore, so you better watch out for them when you go to everyone's stages.
You better
Wait,
watch out.
you aren't
You
coming
better
with
watch
me?
out. You
I
better
can't.
watch out.
I have
You better
something else
watch
to
out.
take care of.
I'm in the wrong fucking stage.
What
The
else
wrong
was
fucking
there
stage.
besides
This is
saving
World 8.
everyone?
Oh no.
Fighter Emma gave him an enigmatic smile. You'll see. At that, she spun on her heel and vanished. That leaves just me and you, said Balan with a grin. Let's be off, little one. We've much to do. The street beat
I
Leo
need an adult.
hesitated.
I am an adult.
I need a
am
different
an adult.
By like 3,000 years. Now come with me and help stop these tears. Woo.
He only knew how to get the Clock Tower Kid stage from his own, but he wasn't sure he was ready to fight her, even if it meant saving her. For a few moments he stood debating himself, then drew his shoulders back in resolve and started walking. He led them across the street, down the alley, wall.
Huh?
He had followed the exact same path Clock Tower Kid had shown him, but they were still in his stage. The twists and turn of the labyrinth stretched out in every direction. Balance snorted. It seems all their stages are locked. The way Clock Tower Kid showed you is blocked.
Oh,
Then there's no way to reach them?
When there's a will, little one, there's always a way. And I am Wonderworld's Maestro. Maestro, I don't know how to say that. What I command, it will obey. Balan lifted his forefinger. So, to whose stage first shall we go? Leo thought for a moment before answering.
Scarecrows?
The farmer was so gentle, Leo figured they might be able to explain everything and get him on their
I
side without
I
ever coming
feel-
We're going in stage order.
Yeah, I feel like that is entirely an arbitrary choice based on the fact that it was the first one. And if he was really that desperate, he would have gone right to fucking Catgirl's stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Plus, the stage was such a gentle place, too.
Balan tilted his head. He is indeed a very kind man. Not as kind as me, though. Let's hope all goes according to plan.
Once again, I choose to believe this is the actual dialogue.
If he could read Leo's mind. Balan put a hand on Leo's shoulder, then skimmed a finger across the brim of his top hat. A bright light enveloped them, and Street Beat Leo squeezed his eyes shut tight against it.
Okay, so now they're being inconsistent about the hyphenation.
Great.
Don't worry about it.
Oh,
Chapter
chapter 3.
Battle. This will be exciting, I'm sure. The one that used to be Scarecrow, the artist formerly known as Scarecrow. When Street Beat Leo opened his eyes again, he couldn't help but gasp at the strange scenery surrounding him.
Where are
There was a
we?
giant farmer.
There was a big fucking farmer staring right at him, and it scared the piss out of poor Street Beat Leo. Where you told me to go only a few moments prior. No? That was a really bad rhyme there, Balan. Come
It
on,
was.
step it up a lot.
Step up your fucking game.
Scarecrow stage? Said Leo, gulping.
Are you sure?
Where there ought to have been an expanse of cornfields, was instead an endless towering stone wall. Sure as sure can get. He's transformed it for battle if you want my
I
best.
did the same. Fuck it.
What do they want you to do there? Are you not supposed to jump?
That looked like you just ran off the edge to me.
I was holding forward.
Why didn't you tag
and
the closer checkpoint?
There wasn't one.
There was one. Just
Well,
for
I
the
didn't
fight.
see it, and I don't fucking care. I'm giving up on that one.
It's 20 to midnight. Are you sure you want to still keep
I'll
going?
poke my head in the other stages. There's like 3 more. I'm not gonna finish them. I'm looking at them. because I'm.
Okay.
There's fucking 10. Jesus Christ. If I actually had to finish World 10, I would lose my fucking shit. All right, continue, Quark. Sorry.
Beat Leo looked around as Balan spoke. Here and there he caught vestiges of the old stage he remembered. He was relieved to see that the farmhouse porch, at least, was unchanged.
What's with the wall?
Balan put his hands on his hips. A physical manifestation of his real-world harm from before he came here to this farm.
Sorry, I just read back in the chat and I saw Gomez's comment of Balan went to the same school as Dr. Hakim. For the fucking crazy, the psychotic book from It Takes Two that is determined to make their relationship as awful as possible in order to fix it. Good lord. I hate how much sense that makes. Fuck this stage.
Think he's trying to protect his stage from the dancing trees he saw in his vision?
A good guess, little one. You're quite the sleuth. But you'll have to free Scarecrow from the negativity to get the truth.
Scarecrow, what are you trying to protect your farm and yourself from? Oh, so how do I free him then?
Remember the lights that flew out of Clock Tower Kid when she changed? Those were positive fragments of her heart, the last two that remained. Except for the third one, which shows up later. You must find everyone's fragments somehow, then fire them into the mark Lance left on their brow. As Balan spoke, Street Beat Leo caught sight of the fuzzy furball creatures bouncing around. Before they were so translucent he could barely see them, but now they were solid and defined. What are those fucking things doing here?
Sorry, I really need to compliment how great Quark's terrible shonen protagonist voice is, because it's.
I used to do dramatic readings of like bad porn with friends.
This does not surprise me, but holy shit, that's so good.
So I've been doing this for a bit now. Okay, where was I? Okay. What are those things doing here? Those creatures are Tim's, but of this you were already aware. Don't know why I'm telling you again. They've grown weak due to the negative corruption everywhere. You couldn't see them when Lance held you in his sway, but they never left your side for a single day, so you better be thankful. And the poor things are starved for drops to eat. You should give them some as a treat.
What'll happen if you do that?
I don't fucking know. I haven't figured this shit out. They've got a clock tower or something.
Balan only gave him an impish grin. Figure it out your damn self. Grin one and see it with your own two eyes.
Figure it out, bitch.
No. Leo ran over to the farmer as fast as his feet would go. But Scarecrow vanished before he could.
What?
I can't believe they actually explained it! I can't believe they actually fucking explained it! Or acknowledged it! Okay, they didn't really explain it, but they acknowledged it, and that's enough for me.
Oh my fucking god. Okay.
I can't
okay.
fucking believe it. Holy shit.
Fuck, okay. Balan groaned. He's been taken over by the negativity's blight. Take care, little one, when the time comes to fight.
What are you talking about?
That wasn't him, I'm afraid. Just an illusion the positivity banished from his heart has made. Though in its weakened state the light still guides, it can show you where the real Scarecrow hides. They're making fucking plot contrivances for it.
I just want to point out
Motherfucker.
how
Son of a
fucking
bitch.
much, like how much talking there is, and just how little they've actually done.
Yeah.
Oh my
There's
fucking God.
nothing has
just happened?
Okay,
God.
I'm gonna pass on World 12, but there is one thing I kind of want to see if I can get. Can you find the bonus costume for World 3?
For World 3?
Yes.
Oh, you check this out. The costume here is right around the corner from the start,
Oh,
apparently.
okay, then I'll get that.
It's at the start of the level, go around the corner and jump across the platform ahead of you, and then there's a bunch of switches on the right. But
Mhm.
you might not have the costume you need to hit them.
Those two?
You need to go around the corner to the... No, it's 3 switches in a line.
I thought it was 3. There's one to stand on, and there's the 2... Oh, those, okay. Yeah.
Ah.
I know which one I need for that. I need the fucking robot that shoots lasers when I stand still. Because they can't give it a button.
Oh God. Game design. And we have to follow it.
There's no point going when we haven't cleared the first roadblock. Scarecrow has shut himself up tight, and there is only one key that opens the lock. It's right next to the costume. You can't miss it.
Balan patted Leo's shoulder.
The positive fragrance of his heart we need, if from Lance's power he is to be freed. Leo nodded and set off toward the stone wall that stood where farmland once sprawled. On the way they passed a couple of drops, but they were all
guess I'm
floating in
wrong.
the air just out of the little Tim's reach.
Okay,
Leo grabbed them and gave them to the furballs when he could, noticing they seemed to perk up and grow a little bigger after eating them. They had been a little spooky when he hadn't been able to see them as anything more than blurry shadows, but now that he got a better look at them, they looked like mascots you'd make plushies out of.
Oh my
They were
god.
kinda cute.
Clark.
What
The-
was the...
The guide I'm looking at says you need the World 8 special costume to hit those. I don't know if there's another way to do it, or that that's just the easiest way to do it. So I don't know if you can do this or not.
Okay, I'll just head to fucking World... I'll just go to World 3 and get the bonus one there. Because I know what that one is, and it's fucking stupid.
I'm
also-
excited.
Oh,
I
no.
like stupid.
It also epitomizes the shitty design of not being able to jump with any costume.
Oh,
Oh, I
God.
can't wait to see this.
Some of the Tims he fed seemed to take a liking to him and followed him as he walked. They kept on like this for a while, Leo plucking drops from the air and feeding the Tims, bouncing in his wake. Look, and you'll see there are drops all around. Indeed, even inside that stone one can be found.
In here?
Leo touched the one Balan was pointing to.
You think I can smash this with my bare fists? I need a hammer to break it open.
Balan gave an
How many
exasperated
pages in
shake of
are
his
we?
head.
We are page 110 and 40%.
Okay, and we're just now talking about costumes.
Yep.
Yes.
Alright, speaking of costumes,
You need the big gear.
the big what? Oh, the big gear.
Big
Fuck!
gear.
That's in World fucking...
I don't think we're finishing this light novel tonight, but I would be
No.
down
We
to
are
read the
not.
rest of it later.
40%.
I'm having a good time reading this, actually.
Okay. Okay, genuine question. Do we want to come back to this at all? Or do we just want to fucking read the book and see how shitty it is on our free time or whatever? Because, like, I don't know how much more of this I personally could take.
Yeah, I think maybe you
Yeah,
might
yeah.
be done with the game altogether.
Okay.
Burn it, never
Yeah.
touch it again.
Yeah, so to go over the costumes that I think I missed, just to say what they are. This is a gun. It's a bullet.
What?
It's a bullet for a head, and it fires a
Costume's
gun.
name is Bullet the Kid.
Bullet the Kid, yeah.
Bullet the kid.
Bullet the kid?
I don't
That's a good
remember
name,
what
Jesus Christ.
I don't remember what the World 4 new one is. I think it might be the King Gear.
Gear King.
Gear King, okay.
Oh, that's
How
the
easy-
other gear thing you have to use.
How
One that
easy
would-
Try
is...
streaming the book while streaming a different game.
I might
Let's
just
go
play
ahead.
Sonic Adventure 2 to kill time while listening to listening to you play the audio or read the audiobook, basically.
That would work. That would work.
Yeah. How easy is it to get to level 5's costume?
5?
Yeah,
Oh,
because that's Lucky Bird.
Bless. Please.
I'm just
Blue.
curious. I'm not gonna get it.
It's the first thing on the guide. You need triple jumper, but it should be right near the start.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
Okay, then I guess we'll do that.
And then we're ending the stream.
Yes, because that is a better fucking version of one of the... no, this is the costume bin. Fuck it. Main menu. Fuck it. Triple jumper just makes everything so much easier to get.
Alan gave
yeah,
an
if you had to get
exasperating.
one costume, it would be that one.
Mm.
You forget we're in Wonderworld, where impossible is only a matter of your imagination's range. Guess
You just
don't
have to think of a
very
fursona that's strong enough to break
little
rocks.
Your stage, little one, isn't the only thing you have the power to change. Images of Clock Tower Kid morphing into a giant monster flashed through Street Beat Leo's mind. You mistake my intent. That isn't at all what I meant, said Balan, as if he could tell what Leo was thinking from the look on his face. It isn't your negativity you draw power from now, but your positivity. And I'll tell you how. Listen up, bitch. Take cleaving open this stone for a start. Envision yourself strong enough to do it in your heart.
Envision strength.
See, now I'm just imagining him, like, envision strength, and then he, like, closes his eyes and thinks really hard, and then it zooms out, and he's the fucking ball. Like, panda ball.
Oh, God, it gives him anchor arms. Now he's a jerk and everyone loves him.
Straight ahead to the first checkpoint, and the ledge on the left with yellow drops.
Gotcha.
Straight ahead to the first checkpoint. Out, nope, left. Straight
That
away from the
checkpoint.
start.
Oh,
that
that
checkpoint.
checkpoint.
Yeah, that one there. And
There's 3 checkpoints within spitting distance of each other.
up to that ledge up
Shit.
there with the yellow drops on it. Up the stairs.
Yep. Ah, I see it. Maybe I could have grabbed the mouse for this. This is a waste because
Oh
I know
my
what this
God,
power-up
that
is.
space.
The key for it can be found down the right-hand side of the tree it's in.
Of course it can. Oh, Jesus, that's a long way down.
Oh.
Going back to the checkpoint.
Envision. Oh, envision strength.
Said Leo, not quite following. Think of positivity like a costume you don.
Oh
First
my
time we
God.
finally said fucking costume in this book. You don whenever you need some additional brawn.
A positive costume.
What do you
does that
mean?
What do you mean?
Key mouse,
This
right.
won't do. Balan tapped a finger to his lips. You're more stupid than I thought, kid. It still isn't coming to you? Well,
Piece
then
it
let's
together,
call
dipshit!
forth Scarecrow's vision. Perhaps his stage's power will help your cognition. Apparently this guy's a lot better at it than you are. Balan
Even
reached
Farmer
for
Ted
Leo.
could figure it out, you dumb slut!
Christ, I had to get stuck with
Oh
special
my
needs kid today, didn't I?
Oh my God! It's so fucking round.
It's still just an egg!
And oh
It's
my
the
God, I
egg, but
love
it doesn't
this
break
thing.
if you jump, which it still allows you to do.
There's also
Okay,
a
now that
costume.
this I've actually got a tip. I will
Okay.
at some point in the future, whatever we end up doing. See ya.
Thank you for sticking around for so long, Dragoni.
Egg!
Egg! I still can't
You
fucking
give
believe
me
that
an
egg. It breaks at the slightest change in ground elevation.
Oh
Mhm.
my God.
What is this?
I kind of want to go
What?
back and get another one just to end the stream with the egg breaking. Also to procrastinate a little bit
End the
because
stream with Chicken Man, and
Yeah.
end the stream with Al's Toy Barn.
yeah. All right. I'm gonna fuck around and see if I can try and grab it while Quark continues reading for a little bit.
Balan reached for Leo, and the moment he touched him, Leo was enveloped in light. He squeezed his eyes shut against the overpowering luminescence. Once it finally faded, he took a timid peek at his hands. They were ugly as hell. They were giant, and his fingernails had sprouted into long, sharp claws. What did you do to me? Balan winked. A mirror appeared in front of him, and in it he saw he had been transformed into a furry. He was still roughly the same height, but his whole body was covered in fur, and his upper half rippled with powerful new muscle. Now he realized he was a muscle fetishist furry. This
Yeah.
This is the shape of strength in Scarecrow's eyes. He's into some weird things. See if it's name you can surmise.
What the fuck?
Page 111. We have a costume.
Oh, I love listening to Clueless break slowly as I keep reading.
I mean, I'm also partly responsible by virtue of the fact that I'm continuing to expose myself to this fucking biohazard. It's not even biohazard.
No, Biohazard
Stared
is a
and
good
stared at
game.
his reflection in the mirror. Tornado Wolf. Leo took in a sharp breath. It was more than just a name that came to him. He knew all of the one single thing he was capable of in this form, too. Leo stood in front of the stone, drew an arm back, and swiped down as hard as he could.
Something Tornado Wolf can do?
What the fuck? I've been lied to! The stone shattered like delicate glass under the blow. Drops spilled out from the rubble. Whoa! Oh, it's his fursuit. That's beautiful.
With that jackass Balan in the
And that
background.
motherfucker. Balan grinned. And there are more costumes to be found. They're just as annoying to maneuver with as this one. Ones that let you breathe fire or fly
jump.
high above the ground. He cut himself off, grabbing Leo's shoulder and jerking his chin towards a negative. But the creature must have already spotted them because it was creeping their way. What should we do? There's only one thing to do. Get rid of it before it gets rid of you.
Wow,
Excuse me.
fucked up.
You mean-
That was super fucked up, Balan. Commit a murder, or else it'll kill you.
Kill or be killed.
I've trapped you within this machine that I call a reverse bear trap. And if you don't get the key from out of your cellmate's stomach within the time limit, well, let's just say, you will have a splitting headache. Also, the more that I hear Quark's Balan voice, the more I can't help but think of fucking Snapcube and Chase doing the fucking Prismo's House of Mirrors bit. It's like, I'm trapped in my house of mirrors! I fucking love that video, and I'm gonna go watch it after I end stream, because holy shit, it's so fucking good.
You need some kind of...
Some levity. Find the real mirror, detective!
Yeah.
You mean I have to kill it?
Megady and Tim's for that matter. Don't die. They respawn. They just disappear.
They're true gamers!
And eventually, they do reappear, though how long that takes is unclear. Why don't you know? You run the fucking place. You breathed a sigh of relief to hear that.
simply the night shift manager. I don't know who runs this shit during the daytime. They probably know.
Don't ask me anything.
That
I
is
just
a
work here.
spot-on impression of some character whose name is just not coming to me.
In the Snapkey video, they call him Snagglepuss, and I know the name Snagglepuss, and I know that that's their voice, but I don't know where they're from, and that's what irks me.
Mr. Murgatroyd. Even if the Negati were his enemies now, he had gotten used to seeing the little creatures around Wonderworld. He didn't think he could bring himself to kill one, even in self-defense.
This is Fire Emblem Fates. This is the plot of Fire Emblem Fates.
Choose your path, Balan or Lance.
So how do I make it disappear?
You fucking kill it with this gun I found.
Me oh my, asking questions you certainly do adore. I'm getting sick of you, kid. Especially all the ones I've answered before. Balan gave me fast
You fucking dipshit. You've never heard of war? I accidentally made that a 3-verse
War
rhyme.
never changes.
War never changes in the Wonderworld.
Wonder War.
Balan Wonderworld is what I call this place. Balan Wonderworld, prisoner of war. That's
Balan
what you are.
Warcraft.
Balan Wonderworld of Warcraft.
Negative come from the negative piece of a person's heart. I've told you this before, but I'm letting you know again, because you don't seem to remember a whole lot of what I've told you.
You seem to
Born
be
from
rather
their fears
dense,
and
my
doubts.
friend.
The only way to get rid of a thing like that is to simply stamp it out. As Leo puzzled over that, the Negity appeared right in front of him. Without thinking, he leapt into the air, stamping down hard on the creature, just like Mario. The Negity disappeared. Yes, just like that. Now the
Just
time for
like that, my child. Murder! Murder for Balan!
No! Now the time for my advice is done. You'll have to figure out the rest as you go, little one. I'm out of here. Wait,
Later, bitch!
you're not going to help me? This is your test, not mine. I don't care what happens to anyone here.
Find one of these golden hats, and maybe I'll fly through the air for a little bit. But I won't be helpful, that I can assure you.
To
God,
leave Wonderworld, you must earn the passing grade. Good luck, little one. I'll be cheering you on to the end. We'll meet again. If you find one of those golden top hats, after you've rescued your friend. As soon as he finished speaking, Balan vanished.
Later,
Leo felt
bitch!
helpless.
Later, fucker.
I'm
I'll
outta
see you in
here.
hell,
I have a
asshole!
software to catch. Leo felt helplessness creep into his heart now that he was on his own. But there was nowhere to go but onward, so onward he went. Towering walls crisscrossed the stage in winding, befuddling paths. Leo walked through them, smashing any stones that barred his way. He picked up the drops that spilled from the rubble and gave them to the Tims that followed him, like Balan had suggested. With each drop, the Tims grew a little bigger, though Leo didn't notice any other changes taking place. They just stared and stared at him. He supposed that meant they were happy. He followed the Illusion Scarecrow for a long time. Illusion Scarecrow actually sounds kinda cool. like as a band album name or something. It led him up a tall rise. At the top of the rise, there was a tree, big and beautiful and bright. Leo saw a tree that looked just like the one that had flown out of Clock Tower Kid's body, wrapped in a protective nest of branches.
Okay, I was watching the Tim machine while you were doing that, and I can't help but notice that they all seem to be physics-based, and we're having a really hard time getting past one specific part.
It's a really rough marble maze. I love that in the middle, they just vibrate left and right.
So, do we want to keep going, or are we just done? 'Cause
For tonight, we're done.
I think we're good.
Okay,
I think
so
this is a good place to end it.
I think what we'll do in the future, if we do this again, bookmark where you're at in the Kindle. Then what we'll do in the corner of the stream, I'll have this running. I'll just let the Tower of Tims go, and I'll just play Sonic Adventure 2 and do Chow Garden stuff or something. Or just play for fun, because I need a good platformer after this. I really do. Hell, I have the game is literally right on my desktop. I could boot it up right after stream. I could do that. I could boot it up now if I wanted to destroy everyone's eardrums. Fuck it, I'll try it.
Go ahead, get that palate cleanser.
Oh man, where the fuck are you?
I think we all need one.
Hang on. I'm gonna switch inputs on my fucking monitor. Okay, Oh no, I have to log back into Steam. Oh well, I'll do that later.
Whatever.
It's not worth the effort right now.
Yeah. Let's just call it here. And
We're done.
And stream. Good night, everybody.
Good
It doesn't
I'm-
have anything to do with Balan.
Or, if possible, Yuji Naka. If you so desire. Holy shit.
Hope you had fun, everybody.
I certainly didn't.
Ah, God,
Oh, good fucking lord.
this fucking game.
Yeah.
This is the
This fucking
gift
book.
this is a gift that never fucking stops giving. Even when we wish it would.
We beg it to stop, and it just keeps going.
Oh, before I press the stop stream button, I would like to, just fucking pontificate a little bit on how this fucking game and Chongo Show's very generous raid that he gave, Ryan's raid, that single-handedly pushed me over the follower count, and provided that I meet the relatively regular stream requirements over the course of these next few months, I might be able to reach Twitch affiliate status, and that
I
is,
can't believe it.
and so that is the
Can't
only
fucking
thing.
Believe it.
That is the only
We're
thing that
becoming
I'm
professionals
willing
now,
to give this
baby.
game credit for. So on that note, that is the only thing I'm grateful towards this game for. But in the until next time, I guess.
Good night.
Good
Happy balloning,
night.
everybody. Good night.